Chapter 4782. It had to be said that nature was mysterious. Everything in the world had a natural counterforce to each other. Hu Yaoming's cultivation level was lower than Scarlet Star's, who was killed by the Nether Sea Devil Snake. However, he was able to disperse the Nether Sea Devil Snakes on the pier. This was because the Nether Sea Devil Snakes were afraid of fire. That scared me to death. Hu Yaoming stood on the pier, his legs trembling and his forehead perspiring. Even his voice was trembling. This fella is too timid. Everyone was disdainful. Originally, He Xiong had recruited 10 Devil Path Saints to go out to sea. Including himself, there were 11 Devil Saints. Although such a force wasn't very strong, it was more than enough to go out to sea. The Nether Sea of the Nether Continent was different from the West Sea of the Celestial Continent. There were very few pirates on the Nether Sea because it was very dangerous. No one knew how many terrifying demonic creatures were hidden in the Nether Sea. If they were not careful, they would definitely be dead if they encountered an extreme Dao, or even an eternal Dao demonic creature. However, He Xiong had a relatively safe route in his hands. If they followed this route, they would be able to reach the Nether God Island safely. It was just relatively safe. This was because there was no absolute safety on the Nether Sea. No wonder there is no one at the pier. Looks like they were all eaten by the Nether Sea Devil Snake. He Xiong led the group of demon sages to the pier. He frowned when he saw Scarlet Star's clothes on the ground. The Nether Sea Devil Snake did not even leave a corpse behind. The Nether Sea Devil Snake's venom was terrifying. It could turn a sage expert's body into a puddle of blood. There should be no one on the ship. Let's go and take a look, He Xiong said to a demon sage beside him. This demon sage looked ferocious and had a bone necklace strung with skulls on his neck. White Bone Demon Sage, Boss He asked you to go up. Why aren't you going up? Feng Ji glanced at White Bone Demon Sage and said, Humph. White Bone Devil sneered, then he leaped up and landed on the black ship. This black ship was the Black Devil ship that they were going to board. Come on up! Soon, White Bone Demon Saint's voice came from the cabin. When everyone heard this, they all jumped onto the Black Devil. The deck was very clean, but there were many clothes and various demonic artifacts scattered on it. It was obvious that the owner of these clothes had been eaten by the Nether Sea Devil Snake. Because of Hu Yaoming, the Netherworld Sea Devil Snake did not appear again. This made everyone relax. Although the mysterious demonic fire technique wasn't a top-notch technique, it was still a fire elemental demonic technique. Once the Nether Sea Devil Snake sensed the fire elemental aura, it would hide far away. The sailors are all dead? What should we do? Everyone was dumbfounded. Get ready to set sail. I'll take the helm myself, He Xiong shouted at the crowd. The Black Boss is personally steering the helm? Everyone was surprised and bewildered. Soon, the Black Devil set out to sea. After the Black Devil ship left the dock, the Nether Sea Devil Snakes appeared on the dock again. You were the one who kicked me out, weren't you? At this time, Hu Yaoming came to find Gu Fei. On the deck, everyone was excited when they saw that there was a show to watch. Demonic cultivators loved to fight. They would never mind watching a show. Brother Gu Hong, that kick of yours was really amazing, White Bone Devil Sage said with a smile. If it wasn't for Brother Gu Hong's kick, this coward might still be at the dock, another Devil Sage said. Who are you calling a coward? Hu Yaoming roared at the Devil Sage. This Devil Sage was tall and skinny. His name was Sky Wind Devil Sage. I said you're a coward? So what? What can you do to me? Sky Wind Devil Sage sneered. I'll settle the score with you later, Hu Yaoming said as he stared at Gu Fei, who had changed his name to Gu Hong. You dared to kick me. How are you going to settle the score? Hu Yaoming stared at Gu Fei and sneered. You can settle it however you want, Gu Fei said indifferently. Very good, then eat my foot too, Hu Yaoming said as he sent a kick towards Gu Fei's face. A layer of mystical demonic fire appeared on his right leg. Humph! Gu Fei extended his right hand and grabbed Hu Yaoming's right leg. He then threw Hu Yaoming into the air and smashed him on the deck. Bam! Everyone heard a dull thud and the entire Black Devil shook violently. If it wasn't for the protection of the demonic Tao, the deck would have been smashed through. Seeing this scene, everyone on the deck was dumbfounded. Their eyeballs almost fell off the deck. Hu Yaoming was smashed to the point where he felt like his bones were falling apart. His entire body was in excruciating pain as he laid on the deck. He couldn't even stand up for a while. Hu Yaoming was a fire element devil sage. How could he be defeated by this Gu Hong guy in one move? Everyone looked at Gu Fei in a different light. Who else needs to be fixed? Gu Fei calmly swept his gaze across the crowd. These fellows were arrogant and unruly. Only by teaching them a lesson would they not dare to make any noise. Everyone was speechless. Although some of the devil sages were unhappy, they didn't dare to do anything. Hu Yaoming was a good example. Humph! Brother Gu Hong, you're also too condescending. White Bone Devil Sage walked out and said coldly. I am arrogant. So what? Gu Fei was very domineering. In order to suppress these guys' demonic flames, he had to be stronger than them. Then let me experience Brother Gu Hong's means. As White Bone Devil Sage spoke, the 18 skulls on his neck lit up, and a terrifying demonic Tao aura erupted. This guy. The rest of the people on the deck immediately moved away. The skulls on White Bone Devil Sage's neck flew up and turned into the size of a wheel. They bit at Gu Fei, and each skull was still spitting out terrifying demonic flames. Gu Fei stood with his hands behind his back. Facing such a powerful attack, he still looked calm. The 18 skulls of White Bone Devil Sage were a very powerful demonic Tao artifact. Each skull was refined from the skull of a Sage Realm demonic Tao expert. When the 18 skulls attacked together, even a great Sage Devil Sage would have to flee. This was the source of White Bone Devil Sage's confidence. This Gu Hong is courting death. Yeah, this kid is too arrogant. The consequences of being arrogant are tragic. No one was optimistic about Gu Fei. Only He Xiong, who was at the helm, frowned but didn't say anything. Chapter 4783. In the Nether Continent, above the Nether Sea, a black demonic ship was moving rapidly on the surface of the sea. This black demonic ship was the Black Devil. On the deck of the Black Devil, there was a vast amount of demonic chi. 18 skulls lunged towards Gu Fei at the same time. The demonic might was shocking. The rest of the people on the deck dodged. The White Bone Devil Sage used his trump card right from the start. He wanted to take Gu Fei down a notch. However, the White Bone Devil Sage underestimated Gu Fei and overestimated himself. However, the others were not optimistic about Gu Fei. The White Bone Devil Sage was not an ordinary devil sage. He was a great sage. Moreover, these 18 skulls were a terrifyingly powerful demonic Tao treasure crafted by White Bone Devil Sage. Even if Gu Fei was a great sage, he was definitely not a match for the White Bone Devil Sage. However, it was a pity that Gu Fei was not a great sage. He was a half-step eternal realm existence. Moreover, his martial body was a genuine eternal martial body. This guy is dead meat. Overestimating himself. Everyone was already imagining the scene of Gu Fei being torn apart by the 18 skulls. However, in the next moment, everyone was stunned by what happened next. They were all dumbfounded. They saw Gu Fei slap the 18 skulls, which were the size of wheels, away. 2 of the skulls even shattered in the void. How is this possible? Hu Yaoming, who had retreated to the side, turned pale with fright. You dare to damage my Tao weapon? The White Bone Devil Sage spat out a mouthful of demonic blood. The destruction of his natal Tao weapon was a huge blow to him. TSK, I still want to hurt you. Gu Fei took a step forward and reached out with his right hand. He grabbed the White Bone Devil Snake's neck and lifted the Devil Sage into the air. The White Bone Devil Sage was really frightened. He saw Gu Fei make a move, but he could not avoid Gu Fei's grab. Have mercy! He Xiong couldn't sit still anymore. You're all looking for trouble. Gu Fei was extremely domineering. Hearing this, everyone was shocked and angry. The skulls that were slapped away by Gu Fei fell into the sea and floated on the surface of the sea. Are you convinced? Gu Fei didn't care about He Xiong. This fellow wasn't a good person. If he was tortured by this white-boned devil sage, this fella definitely wouldn't stand up for him. I refuse to accept this. White-boned demon saint roared. Bam! Gu Fei clenched his left fist and punched white-boned demon saint. In the next moment, a bone-cracking sound was heard from white-boned demon saint's body. White-boned devil sage was hit by Gu Fei's punch until all the bones in his body felt like they were falling apart. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Fellow Taoist Gu, please show mercy, He Xiong said hurriedly. As long as he submits, I will let him go, Gu Fei said indifferently. This? He Xiong's expression changed several times. Bam! Gu Fei continued to attack. He had never been lenient when it came to these demonic cultivators. His punch caused white-boned demon saint's chest to cave in. I surrender, I surrender. Stop hitting me. At this moment, white-boned demon saint was terrified. He had no choice but to be terrified. Was he really going to be beaten to death by this fella? Humph! You can't even take a few punches and still dare to be presumptuous in front of me. You're simply courting death. Gu Fei threw white-boned demon saint to the ground and stood with his hands behind his back. He looked at these fellas indifferently. These demonic cultivators didn't dare to make eye contact with Gu Fei. White-boned demon saint recalled his skulls. What the hell is going on? Another two are missing? White-boned demon saint almost vomited blood. His heart was already bleeding after two of his skulls were smashed by Gu Fei. Now another two were missing. This was a huge loss. Boom! At this moment, there was a loud sound. The entire black ship shook violently. It was actually hit by some living creature in the sea. The entire black ship was sent flying. What? Everyone on the ship turned pale with fright. Roar! A sound that seemed to come from ancient times was heard. Then, everyone saw a huge figure diving into the sea. What's that? It seems to be the Overlord Whale. What, the Overlord Whale? Everyone was shocked. Humph! A demon saint suddenly soared into the sky. Then, he grabbed the void with his left hand. A demonic bow immediately appeared in his hand. The person who made the move was called Moon-Shooting Demon Saint. He knocked an arrow and shot it into the sea. Boom! A gigantic beast charged out of the sea and bit down on the moon-shooting demon sage who was in the sky. Compared to this huge beast, moon-shooting demon saint's figure was too small. If the blood plate sucked in, even tens of thousands of people would be swallowed by this huge beast. Hum! A saber radiance soared into the sky. A demon saint who used the saber to enter the Tao had made his move. An extremely sharp saber chi spread out, causing gusts of wind to blow in the surroundings. The other great demon saints also made their moves. If this gigantic beast were to crash into and sink the demonic ship, it would be fun. Gu Fei did not make a move. He wanted to watch the show first. Soon, the giant beast in the sea was shot through the head by the moon-shooting demon saint, and it died instantly. At this time, more and more demonic creatures in the sea were attracted by the blood. There were many powerful demonic creatures among them. This made He Xiong and the others very careful. They left quickly. After sailing for more than 10 hours, a huge island finally appeared in front of them. That's Underworld God Island? Someone said in shock. That's right. The demonic creatures on the island are extremely powerful. We must not be careless. He Xiong stared at the huge island in front of him with a solemn expression. We will only go to this ancient battlefield. We will not go anywhere else. If you want to go somewhere else, I won't stop you. He Xiong continued. If someone was courting death, he would not be able to stop them. Got it, boss He. Hu Yaoming and the others were getting impatient. The closer they got to Underworld God Island, the more careful He Xiong became. No one knew what kind of powerful demonic creatures were lurking in the sea. Although Underworld God Island was in sight, They still sailed for half a day before they got close to the island. However, just as everyone was feeling extremely excited, a fireball suddenly flew out of Underworld God Island and smashed directly at their Black Devil ship. Humph! Hei Xiong activated the demonic ship's protective barrier. Boom! The fireball exploded in the sky, and a scorching wave of air spread out, causing the surrounding temperature to rise rapidly. They looked in the direction where the fireball came from and saw a giant ape with fiery red fur standing on a cliff by the sea. It's a demon fire ape. Chapter 4784. They finally arrived at Underworld God Island. Along the way, they encountered many Nethersea demonic creatures, but most of them were killed by Gu Fei and the others. This did not mean that there were no powerful demonic creatures in the Nethersea. On the contrary, there were many powerful demonic creatures in the Nethersea. There were many extreme Dao-level demonic creatures and even eternal-level demonic creatures. Of course, demonic creatures of this level would not show themselves easily. Gu Fei and the others were attacked before their Black Devil demonic ship could even reach the shore. It was a demonic fire ape. A great sage-level demonic aura erupted from the demonic fire ape's body. That beast! The moon-shooting demon saint took out his deity-slaying bow, stood on the deck, and slowly drew the bow in his hand. The surrounding spiritual energy of heaven and earth suddenly gathered towards him and the bow. A magic arrow materialized on the magic bow. Swoosh! The moon-shooting demon saint drew the bow to the fullest extent and released it. The demonic arrow turned into a demonic light that instantly pierced through the void and shot towards the demonic fire ape on the cliff. Roar! The demonic fire ape roared and retreated immediately. However, it was too late. The demonic light pierced through the demonic fire ape's body. Then, the entire demonic fire ape shattered in the void, its body and soul destroyed. Great archery! All the demon saints on the deck could not help but cheer when they saw this. The moon-shooting demon saint was very pleased with himself. However, in the next moment, everyone was dumbfounded. They saw a roar coming from the mountains on the coast. Then, red figures rushed out from the mountains one after another. That is... Hei Xiong immediately steered the Black Devil ship and fled. There were red figures all over the mountains. They were all demonic fire apes. Moreover, every demonic fire ape was a sage-level existence. There were countless demon saints. How is this possible? Hu Yaoming and the others were already stunned by the scene on Underworld God Island. Nothing is impossible on Underworld God Island, Yizichin said with a smile. Hei Xiong said with a solemn expression. On the mountain ridge by the shore, countless demonic fire apes were roaring at the demonic ship that Gu Fei and the others were on. Then balls of fire rushed out from the shore and bombarded the demonic ship. Hei Xiong didn't dare to delay and immediately activated the demonic ship's protective barrier. A ball of demonic light enveloped the entire demonic ship. Fireballs fell from the sky and smashed into the demonic ship's light shield, causing the entire shield to shake violently. Under Hei Xiong's control, the demonic ship quickly left the coast. Soon, the demonic ship rushed out of the fireball's range and was temporarily safe. I say, Black Boss, this Nether God Island is so strange. Won't we die at any time if we go there? Hu Yaoming's heart palpitated as he spoke. He was frightened by the scene just now. That was countless demonic fire apes. If they swarmed over, even a quasi-extreme grade sovereign would have to flee. TCH, if you're a coward then you can just hide on the ship. White-boned Devil Saint said coldly. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If we want to obtain good things, we have to take the risk. The other Devil Saints were very excited. This Nether God Island definitely had incredible opportunities. If they could obtain these opportunities, they would be able to soar to the sky in one go. Devil Dao people were all brave and ruthless people. The heaven-defying cultivation resources on Nether God Island were their goal for this trip. The demonic ship left the place where the demonic fire apes were and chose to land on a shallow beach. This was one of the few relatively safe places to land on Nether God Island. Of course, on a place like Nether God Island, there was no place that was absolutely safe. The shallow beach was clear at a glance and there were no demonic creatures. However, behind the beach was a forest. No one knew if there were any powerful demonic creatures hiding in the forest. Go ashore. After stopping the ship, He Xiong directly jumped onto the beach. The other devil saints also jumped onto the beach. When Gu Fei landed on the beach, he didn't see any animal footprints. This was somewhat abnormal. One must know that there were many demonic creatures in the Netherworld Sea. The demonic creatures in the sea would also come ashore. And the demonic creatures on the island would also go to the seaside to hunt the demonic creatures in the sea. This beach is strange. Gu Fei suddenly said. What? Everyone tensed up when they heard this. They knew of Gu Fei's capabilities because Hu Yaoming and White Bone Devil Saint had been taught a terrible lesson by Gu Fei previously. Even He Xiong frowned. Boom! At this moment, a huge black shadow suddenly broke through the ground and rushed out from the crowd. It swallowed a Devil Saint in one gulp and then burrowed into the beach. The group of Devil Dao experts was scared out of their wits and fled in all directions. It's a Devil Sand Dragon, He Xiong exclaimed. That black shadow was like a huge dragon that directly burrowed into the beach and disappeared. There was not even a trace of the place where the Devil Sand Dragon had burrowed into. When they set off, there were 11 Devil Saints. One of them, Scarlet Star Devil Saint, died at the pier. Now, they had just arrived at Netherworld God Island and yet another Devil Saint was swallowed by a Devil Sand Dragon. This Devil Sand Dragon was like a huge earthworm with black scales all over its body. It had a huge bloody mouth filled with sharp inverted teeth. Get off the beach! He Xiong roared at everyone. Even without his roar, everyone rushed towards the forest outside the beach with all their might. Gu Fei carefully sensed the vibrations of the sand beneath his feet. With his quasi-eternal spiritual force, he could sense the subtle vibrations coming from the inside of the beach. It's coming again. Be careful! Gu Fei shouted. What? The group of Devil Saints turned pale with fright. With a scream, another Devil Saint was swallowed by a Devil Sand Dragon that rushed out of the beach. The others had successfully escaped into the forest. This was no longer the beach area. The Devil Sand Dragon could only travel on the beach. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. However, just when everyone thought that the danger was over, a sharp thorn fell from the sky and nailed the Devil Saint to the ground. Everyone was shocked and hurriedly dodged. Gu Fei looked up and saw a huge devil spider coiled on a big tree. It used its spear-like front leg to stab a Devil Saint to death. Preposterous! He Xiong was furious. These were the people he had recruited. Yet 3 of them died at once. They were still very far from the ancient battlefield ruins. If they continued to die like this, they would probably be annihilated before they could reach the battlefield ruins. Swoosh! He Xiong attacked. A dazzling saber gleam shot out from his hand and split the devil spider on top of the tree in half. The devil spider's blood splattered down. Everything that came into contact with the devil spider's blood emitted black smoke. What the F***CK? There's poison? Everyone was shocked. At this moment, there were only 7 of them left. Chapter 4785. Underworld God Island was definitely not an immortal treasure land. There were powerful demonic creatures everywhere, and danger lurked everywhere. Here, there were ancient battlefield ruins, heaven-defying divine medicines, cave residences of ancient almighties, and treasures that even eternal ones coveted. Although Underworld God Island was full of dangers, there were also great opportunities. However, Underworld God Island's great opportunities and fortunes could not be obtained by just anyone. Moreover, this was a place that even eternal ones were unwilling to set foot on. This was because Underworld God Island was shrouded in a power that surpassed the eternal realm. Even eternal ones, as long as they set foot on this island, their eternal realm cultivation base would be directly suppressed to the sacred realm. Moreover, those eternal ones whose cultivation base was suppressed to the sacred realm would be in danger of dying on the island if they were not careful. This was also the reason why no one was willing to set foot on Underworld God Island. Generally, those who ventured to the island were Sacred Realm experts, and very few extreme Taoists would appear. Not to mention half-step eternal and eternal existences. Because of the existence of the power that surpassed the eternal realm, the creatures on Underworld God Island could only cultivate to the Sacred Realm, and could not advance any further. This was also the reason why, among the large group of demonic fire apes that Gu Fei and the others encountered before, there was not a single demonic fire ape king that surpassed the Sacred Realm. This island is too dangerous. At this time, Gu Fei and the others looked at the huge demonic spider that He Xiong had split in half with his saber, and they could not help but be dumbfounded. They had just set foot on the island, and 3 demon sages had already died. Humph! Wanting to obtain fortunes without taking risks, how can there be such a good thing in this world? White-boned demon saint sneered. That's right. If anyone is afraid, just stay here and wait for us. Of course, if anyone wants to go back, then go on your own. We won't send you off. He Xiong glanced at everyone, his expression extremely solemn. This, Hu Yaoming and the others hesitated. They wanted to leave, but without He Xiong leading the way, who could leave? Moreover, the sea was not necessarily safer than the island. Let's do it! Boss He, lead the way! Hu Yaoming gritted his teeth. He Xiong took out a map from his body, and everyone gathered around him. Gu Fei also went up to take a look. It was a simple map with the names of the places marked on it. Their current location was more than 300 kilometers away from the ancient battlefield ruins, and they had to pass through a mountain range. Blackfire Ridge? What the hell is this? Everyone was bewildered. Let's go! He Xiong put away the map, and everyone set off. This time around, everyone carefully followed He Xiong. Since He Xiong was leading the charge, he was even more nervous. If he was not careful, even a veteran like He Xiong would die on Underworld God Island. This guy was wearing a protective demonic armor, and held a demonic saber in his hand. His eyes were alert, and his ears were alert. This was not an exaggeration at all. Since He Xiong had dared to enter Underworld God Island and had escaped unscathed more than once, it was definitely not because of luck. Gu Fei leisurely walked at the back. He was not as nervous as the others because although his cultivation was suppressed here, he had a genuine eternal martial body. A saint-level creature wanted to injure the eternal martial body? What a joke. There was no path on Underworld God Island at all. Of course, this was not a problem for He Xiong. He swung his saber, and the saber radiance soared for thousands of meters. Wherever the saber radiance passed, everything was cut into pieces by the saber chi. He Xiong opened up a path directly toward Blackfire Ridge. Roar! After walking for more than 10 kilometers, a roar was heard from the depths of the mountain range. Then, a huge demonic shadow rushed out of the mountain range and pounced on He Xiong. This is... Everyone was shocked. The demonic shadow that rushed out of the mountain range was a demonic dragon that was as large as a hill. This demonic dragon had 2 wings, and when it came close, it spat out a mouthful of demonic fire at He Xiong and the others. The flames soared into the sky, and anything that came into contact with the demonic fire was instantly burned to ashes. Seal! He Xiong performed a demonic art, and the demonic fire that rushed toward them directly hit a transparent wall and exploded in the air. All the demonic fire was blocked. Kill! At the same time, the moon-shooting demon saint roared and shot an arrow at the demonic dragon. The arrow was shot out like lightning, and it was extremely fast. The demonic dragon screamed in pain as its body was pierced by the moon-shooting demon saint's arrow. It immediately turned to flee in fear. Fleeing? At that moment, a cold laugh was heard, and a dozen skulls flew up and trapped the demonic dragon. The white-boned demon saint made his move. The dozen or so wheel-sized skulls swarmed up, and the dragon that had charged out of the mountain ridge in a menacing manner was only able to let out half a scream before it was devoured by the dozen or so skulls, turning it into a dried corpse, and it breathed its last. Gu Fei discovered that after the skulls devoured the essence of the demonic dragon, their ferocity increased greatly, and each skull was spitting demonic fire. After killing the demonic dragon, they continued on their journey. The closer they got to the Black Fire Ridge, the stronger the demonic creatures they encountered. When they entered the Black Fire Ridge, a demonic bear rushed out. It was a great sage-level demonic bear. When the demonic bear stomped on the ground, the earth trembled, and sharp stone pillars rushed out of the ground and stabbed at Gu Fei and the others. Everyone rushed into the sky at the first moment. Whoosh! The demonic bear slapped at them with its paw, and a gust of wind blew, and the surrounding sand and stones were sent flying. Swoosh! The moon-shooting demon saint shot an arrow at the demonic bear. However, this time, when the demonic arrow hit the demonic bear's body, it was shattered into pieces and the demonic bear was completely fine. Earth demonic bear? When Gu Fei saw this, he could not help but frown. The underworld god island had a great force that suppressed everything. Here, he could only use the power of a sage. However, he had an invincible eternal martial body. No matter how powerful the demonic bear was, it could not threaten him. He came here for the fusion of Path's fruit. With the fusion of Path's fruit, he could instantly restore his eternal realm cultivation. However, he had to look for the fusion of Path's fruit carefully. At this time, the 6 great demon saints were sent flying by the demonic bear. Boom! Gu Fei casually punched out and blocked the demonic earthen bear's palm strike. Violent power spread out in all directions, uprooting trees and sending them flying into the sky. This guy, He Xiong and the others thought they had overestimated this guy called Gu Hong, but now, they realized to their dismay that they had underestimated this guy. The combat strength that Gu Fei displayed stunned He Xiong and the other great demon saints. Chapter 4786. Underworld God Island was shrouded by an inexplicable power. Even if an eternal expert stepped onto the island, his cultivation would be suppressed to the great sage realm. Even an old antique like Wu Tianheng would not dare to set foot on Underworld God Island. Although Gu Fei had a powerful eternal martial body, his cultivation was suppressed to the sage realm by this power. This was a power that surpassed the eternal realm. Boom! Bang! Gu Fei was incomparably fierce. He directly collided with the demonic earth bear. Everywhere he passed, the rocks and trees were all shattered. The mountain ridge was in chaos. This Gu Hong, he has hidden his strength well. This guy's cultivation is at least at the peak of the sage realm. He Xiong and the others who had directly dodged were shocked when they saw this scene. At this time, they realized that they had seriously underestimated this guy. At this time, Gu Fei operated a mysterious technique. His powerful Yuan Qi was actually transformed into demonic Qi. The demonic Qi was monstrous, like a peerless demon descending to the world. Gu Fei's primordial chaos Qi was originally the ancestor Qi of heaven and earth. It could be transformed into any Qi between heaven and earth. Demonic Qi was also a kind of Qi between heaven and earth. Bang! Gu Fei blasted out a dozen punches in a row. This punch landed on the body of the demonic earth bear. The demonic earth bear was blasted a dozen miles away and directly hit a short mountain. Roar! The demonic earth bear roared. Endless earth element demonic Qi surged out from the ground and then madly gathered towards the demonic earth bear. Boom! A tyrannical demonic Qi erupted from the short mountain. The entire short mountain was directly shattered. Countless mountain rocks and soil flew in all directions. The outer area of Black Fire Ridge was suddenly in chaos. Countless demonic creatures scrambled to avoid the flying rocks. Roar! The demonic earth bears shattered the short mountain and directly pounced towards Gu Fei. Its ferocious power was monstrous. Kill! Gu Fei also roared and then rushed towards the demonic earth bear. The two figures instantly collided. The demonic earth bear was once again sent flying by Gu Fei. There was no suspense because Gu Fei possessed the supreme eternal martial body. This time, Gu Fei took a step in the void and caught up with the demonic earth bear that was sent flying. Then, he kicked the demonic earth bear to the ground. Rumble! The ground collapsed, and a huge pit appeared on the ground. Dust flew everywhere. This? He Xiong and the others were dumbfounded when they saw this. There was nothing they could do about it. Gu Fei's battle prowess was just too strong. He had created a huge crater in the ground with every step he took. In Eternal World, the mountains, rocks, and soil were incomparably tough. The average cultivator would have a hard time destroying them. This was related to the heavenly Tao of Eternal World. The stronger the heavenly Tao, the more stable the world would be and the harder it would be to destroy the world. Gu Fei and the demonic earth bear charged into the ground. The ground undulated like waves, as if there was a huge dragon moving underground. Suddenly, everything calmed down. What happened? The demon saints were all shocked. Boom! The ground suddenly exploded, and a figure rushed out from the ground. He was holding a huge head in his hand. It was the head of the demonic earth bear. You killed the demonic earth bear? The demon saints looked at Gu Fei as if they were looking at a monster. Hu Yaoming, if you are not blind, you would not have said something so stupid. The moon-shooting demon saint sneered. Ha ha! The other demon saints laughed when they heard this. Humph! Hu Yaoming felt that he had lost face, but there was nothing he could do about it. Who asked him to be the weakest among the demon sages? The weak had no right to speak. Bang! Gu Fei threw the head of the demonic earth bear in front of He Xiong and the others. He Xiong and the others were shocked. Who are you? He Xiong stared at Gu Fei and asked. Does it matter who I am? Gu Fei smiled. The demon saints were speechless. All right, I only have one goal in coming here, and that is the Tao Fusion Fruit. If you can tell me where to find it, I will help you get what you want. Gu Fei smiled. Tao Fusion Fruit? He Xiong's expression turned odd when he heard this. The legendary Tao Fusion Fruit? How do we know where it is? The white-boned demon saint exclaimed. Could it be that someone is injured and wants to use the Tao Fusion Fruit to heal? He Xiong said. In the Eternal World, the Tao Fusion Fruit was generally used to heal injuries of the Great Tao or to comprehend the heavenly Tao and break through the shackles of cultivation. The Tao Fusion Fruit was precious because peak extreme Tao experts could also use it to improve their cultivation and break through to the eternal realm. It was a peerless divine medicine that even extreme Tao experts would covet. Looks like you know where the Tao Fusion Fruit is. Gu Fei looked at He Xiong and said. Yes, I know. He Xiong admitted. Can you tell me? Gu Fei said, looking at He Xiong with a smile. Didn't you say that as long as someone can tell you where the Tao Fusion Fruit is, you will help them obtain what they want? He Xiong looked at Gu Fei with a grim expression. Ha ha ha! Got it. What do you want? Gu Fei laughed. I will tell you when we reach the ancient battlefield ruins. He Xiong suddenly became excited. Then let's go. What are you waiting for? Gu Fei said. All right. He Xiong turned and continued leading the way. They had all seen the map and knew that the ancient battlefield ruins would be after crossing Blackfire Ridge. However, it was not easy to cross the Blackfire Ridge. Just one demonic earthen bear had left them in a terrible state. If it weren't for Gu Fei, that demonic earthen bear alone could have killed off He Xiong and the others. That demonic earthen bear cultivated earth-type demonic energy. As long as there was earth chi, it would be difficult to kill the demonic earthen bear. He Xiong carefully avoided some of the powerful demonic creatures in Blackfire Ridge. Even Gu Fei admired He Xiong's rich experience. However, as soon as they reached the highest ridge of Blackfire Ridge, black shadows appeared silently around them and surrounded them. What? Everyone's shock was no small matter. It's the shadow fiends. We're doomed! He Xiong suddenly exclaimed. At that moment, those black shadows pounced at them silently. Don't let those shadows touch you. He Xiong reminded loudly. What? As soon as a great demon saint was touched by a black shadow, the great demon saint turned into dust and scattered on the ground. He died silently just like that. Seeing this scene, everyone was scared out of their wits. Gu Fei was the only one who remained calm. Everyone hurried to avoid those silent demonic shadows, except for Gu Fei, who threw a punch at the black shadow that pounced at him. The powerful fist force directly shattered the demonic shadow. Chapter 4787. When Gu Fei and the rest were crossing the Black Fire Ridge, they encountered a group of strange demonic shadows that pounced on them silently. A great demon saint accidentally touched a demon shadow, and his whole body instantly turned into a kind of black dust that scattered on the ground. Even the things on his body turned into black dust. Seeing that, He Xiong and the rest turned pale with fright and immediately fled. Only Gu Fei attacked those black shadows. However, to Gu Fei's surprise, a demonic shadow was smashed by his fist, but the strange demonic shadow that was smashed by him condensed again in an instant. This is interesting. Gu Fei dodged the demonic shadow that was pouncing on him. Then, he used his hand as a sword and swung it. A dazzling sword radiance appeared and cut the demonic shadow into two. However, the demonic shadow that was cut into two recovered in an instant. What should we do? He Xiong and the others were all avoiding these strange demonic shadows. None of them dared to touch these strange demonic shadows because they had learned their lesson from the previous incident. Who would dare to touch these demonic shadows? They are all shadows. Gu Fei soon discovered that these strange demonic phantoms were actually existences like shadows. They could be seen, but they were intangible. However, when they touched a living being, the living being would instantly turn into black ash. Shadow Devil, I have to find its real body. Gu Fei released his divine telekinesis while dodging those strange demonic shadows. He could only use the divine telekinesis of a sage. His divine telekinesis instantly enveloped an area with a radius of more than 10 miles around him. However, he could not sense the existence of any powerful demonic creatures near the Black Fire Ridge, which surprised him. This Shadow Devil seemed to be quite capable. You guys go first, Gu Fei said to He Xiong and the rest. Okay. He Xiong and the rest hurriedly responded and retreated far away. Gu Fei, on the other hand, displayed his invincible might and blocked the other demonic shadows. Seeing that, the rest of them ran for more than 10 miles as if they were running for their lives. Gu Fei brought up the rear. Although these strange demonic shadows are hard to destroy, I don't necessarily have to fight to the death with these strange demonic shadows. Gu Fei caught up with He Xiong and the others. He looked back and saw that the strange demonic shadows behind them had disappeared. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Let's go! At that moment, the surrounding area suddenly shook. A powerful demonic power erupted. It was as if a terrifying demon had awakened in the mountains. The mountains behind them were shrouded in devil qi. Within the demonic aura, there seemed to be countless demonic shadows looming. What the hell is this? Gu Fei was bewildered. Everyone ran madly and soon left the range of the mountain ridge. At this moment, they saw an endless wasteland suddenly appear in front of them. The tall trees suddenly disappeared, and all that could be seen were withered grass and rocks. Among the withered grass and rocks, countless bones were scattered. This is the ancient battlefield ruin! Be careful! He Xiong was also nervous and excited. Since we're here, tell me, what do you want? Gu Fei said to He Xiong. Demon origin fruit. I want the demon origin fruit, He Xiong said. Demon origin fruit? Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard that. This was a kind of demonic fruit that could enhance the cultivation of demonic cultivators. It was rare in the world. They didn't expect to see it in the ancient battlefield. Okay. Lead the way. Gu Fei nodded. He Xiong didn't waste any more time and directly walked into the ancient battlefield ruin. On Underworld God Island, something earth-shattering had happened. This ancient battlefield was huge, and there were bones everywhere. The demonic aura here was very strange. In some places, the demonic aura was so strong that even a sage-level great demon saint would be afraid and not dare to approach. In some places, the demonic aura was so weak that it was almost undetectable. In this place, immortal demonic power gathered. The demonic patterns of the Great Path that had not dissipated for thousands of years still had terrifying power. Once these demonic patterns were touched, even a great demon saint would die. Obviously, this wasn't He Xiong's first time in this ancient battlefield ruin. He avoided the places with strong demonic aura along the way, but even so, they still encountered danger. It was a white skeleton that blocked their way. This was an undying demonic creature. In the skull, there was a ball of demonic fire burning, bursting with the power of a peak sage-level expert. No one dared to be careless in the face of such an undying demonic soul. Hee, don't fight with me. This demonic bone is mine. White Bone Demon Saint walked up. This undying demonic soul's bone looked extraordinary at first glance. On the bone, there were pitch-black demonic patterns, and each demonic pattern was glowing. Obviously, this demonic bone had surpassed the sage level. It was at least a half-step extreme Dao demonic bone. This demonic bone itself was a half-step extreme Dao demonic artifact. Gu Fei didn't say anything. Since someone was making a move, he was happy to watch the show from the side. The battle broke out. White Bone Demon Saint activated the skull necklace, and a dozen skulls soared into the sky, pouncing on the undying demonic soul. Powerful demonic power erupted. Buzz! At the same time, the undying demonic soul also made a move. A powerful spiritual will burst out from the undying demonic soul's skull. The dozen skulls that were pouncing on the undying demonic soul were directly blown away by this sudden burst of spiritual will. Such a powerful spiritual will! Gu Fei was a little surprised. At this moment, the undying demonic soul pounced on White Bone Demon Saint, and a pair of bone claws tore at White Bone Demon Saint. White Bone Demon Saint was shocked. He was dizzy from the opponent's spiritual will, and he could only retreat quickly. Although he retreated quickly, the clothes on his chest were still scratched by the undying demonic soul's bone claws, and there were 3 cuts on his clothes, but he wasn't injured. These two fellas were evenly matched. Gu Fei could tell at a glance that it wouldn't be easy for these two fellas to decide the winner. Sure enough, White Bone Demon Saint and the undying demonic soul started fighting, and for a moment, they were evenly matched. Demonic chi surged, and the surrounding sand and pebbles flew. Quickly get rid of this undying demonic soul! He Xiong shouted at White Bone Demon Saint. He Xiong, why don't we attack together? Hui Yaoming said. It won't be good if we alarm the other demonic souls, Moon Shooting Demon Saint said as he looked around. Then let's attack together. Why are you still talking nonsense? Gu Fei said impatiently. The other demon sages looked at each other and pounced on the undying demonic soul. Only He Xiong didn't make a move. The 4 great demon sages attacked the undying demonic soul, and soon, the demonic fire in the undying demonic soul's skull was dispersed, and it was killed. However, just as they killed the undying demonic soul, Gu Fei was shocked to find that they were surrounded by countless undying demonic souls. Chapter 4788. The ancient battlefield relic was much more dangerous than they had imagined. This was definitely not He Xiong's first time entering the ancient battlefield relic. However, this was his first time encountering something like this. Countless undead demon spirits silently appeared around them. At first glance, they were all skeletons. Each of their skulls had a demonic soul flame burning inside them, and 2 beams of demonic light shot out from their eye sockets. This was simply an army of undying demon spirits. Seeing this, even He Xiong felt his hair stand on end. Hui Yaoming's legs were trembling and his face was pale. The others were terrified as well. They had only managed to kill 1 undying demon soul by working together, but now, countless undying demon souls suddenly appeared. What could they do now? There was nothing to play with. Damn it! Why is my luck so bad? He Xiong said viciously. He Xiong, you've really screwed us over this time. The demoness known as Fengji said coldly. Do you think I want to encounter these damned things? He Xiong said angrily. Nether God Island was a famous forbidden area in the entire Nether continent, and even in the entire eternal world. Not many people were willing to set foot on this island. 9 out of 10 people who set foot on this island would not be able to leave. Annihilation of a whole team was a common occurrence on Nether God Island. Although this place was dangerous, it also had an abundance of cultivation resources. There were all sorts of cultivation resources. Moreover, they were all very rare. For example, the demonic origin fruit that He Xiong wanted was a divine medicine that could improve a cultivator's cultivation base. As for the fusion path fruit that Gu Fei wanted, it was even more precious. The fusion path fruit was on Nether God Island. This was no secret in the Nether continent. This heaven-defying divine medicine was on Nether God Island. However, obtaining this heaven-defying divine fruit was not an easy task. Many people had ventured into Nether God Island to obtain this divine fruit to improve their cultivation base. However, no one had ever heard of anyone succeeding. What should we do? Everyone panicked. Only Gu Fei remained calm. I say, Taoist Gu, if you have any ideas, just say it. He Xiong couldn't help but ask when he saw how calm Gu Fei was. This immortal demon spirit should be something born from death, so it's afraid of pure yang objects. Gu Fei said indifferently. What? Pure yang? Where are we going to find a pure yang item at this time? Everyone was dumbfounded. Don't look at me. I cultivate the extreme demon fire, not the pure yang demon fire. Hui Yaoyang panicked when he saw everyone looking at him. An object of pure yang. Feng Ji frowned. Roar! At this time, a roar came from the depths of the ancient battlefield. In the next moment, countless undying demon souls seemed to have heard a command and directly pounced towards Gu Fei's group. What was shocking was that these undead demon souls were all saint-rank undead demon souls. This was a terrifying army of saint-rank undead demon souls. Because on Nether God Island, there was a powerful existence that surpassed the eternal realm. This power suppressed the countless living beings on the island, and all living beings could only cultivate to the saint rank. Over the years, countless saint-rank undead demon souls had appeared in this ancient battlefield. My life is over! Hui Yaoyang felt despair when he saw this scene. The others were also in despair, because there were just too many of these undying devil spirits. Even ants could kill a giant elephant. Countless undying devil spirits swarmed over. Who could stop them? Boom! At this time, a ball of demon fire rushed out from Feng Ji's body. In the next moment, a powerful demonic energy burst out from the ball of demon fire. This is... Everyone was shocked. Countless undead demon souls that were pouncing towards them fell to the ground. The soul demon fire in their skulls had all been extinguished. The undead demon souls that did not fall retreated like a tide, like mice that saw a cat. All of them were terrified. The ball of demon fire in the sky floated above everyone's head. A powerful pure yang aura spread out. With Gu Fei and the others as the center, the area within a radius of several thousand zhang became a forbidden zone for undead demon souls. Demon Phoenix's inner core? Gu Fei was surprised. He did not think that Feng Ji would possess such a treasure on her. The Demon Phoenix. Even in Eternal World, it was an incomparably powerful existence. This Demon Phoenix's inner core definitely surpassed the extreme Dao rank. However, on Nether God Island, this Demon Phoenix's inner core could only erupt with the power of a saint rank. However, the pure yang demonic energy that erupted from the Demon Phoenix's inner core was enough to pose a fatal threat to the undead demon souls within a radius of several thousand zhang. Hu Yaoming and the others were dumbfounded when they saw the countless skeletons lying on the ground. Roar! A furious roar came from the depths of the ancient battlefield. Let's go! He Xiong did not expect Feng Ji to have such a card up her sleeve. He quickly led the way in the direction of the demon origin fruit. As long as he could obtain the demon origin fruit, it would all be worth it. Wherever they went, the surrounding undead demon spirits all retreated. Soon, they broke through the encirclement of the undead demon souls and arrived at the foot of a short mountain. This short mountain was barren and filled with rubble. Among the rubble, there were many skeletons. Most of these skeletons belonged to humans, but there were also a few skeletons belonging to unusual beasts. Boom! In the next moment, the short mountain suddenly exploded. A demonic figure rushed out from the mountain and directly grabbed the demon phoenix's inner core floating in the air. Kill! Feng-ji roared furiously. She soared into the sky and threw a punch at the demonic shadow. The demonic figure also punched. Bam! A muffled sound rang out. Feng-ji and the demonic figure's fists collided. Feng-ji was directly sent flying hundreds of zhang away. When she landed on the ground, her fists were trembling. So strong. Feng-ji was shocked. The demonic figure was only sent flying for hundreds of zhang before it stopped and pounced at the demon phoenix's inner core again. At this time, everyone could clearly see this demonic figure. This demonic figure was actually a black-robed middle-aged man with a face as pale as a sheet of paper, without a trace of blood. The middle-aged man's body erupted with the aura of pure yang demon qi. No wonder this guy directly targeted the demon phoenix's inner core. The demon phoenix's inner core was originally a treasure coveted by demon cultivators who cultivated pure yang demon arts. Another undead demon soul? Gu Fei frowned. This undead demon soul was not in the state of a skeleton. Its flesh and blood were immortal, just like a living person. This undead demon soul must have been an unimaginably powerful existence when it was alive. Chapter 4789. No one knew how many undying demon spirits were hiding in the ancient battlefield ruins on Underworld God Island. However, Gu Fei's group was very unlucky today because they encountered too many undying demon spirits. If it wasn't for Feng-ji bringing a demon phoenix's inner core, they would have all lost their lives here. Of course, Gu Fei wasn't afraid of these demon spirits. He cultivated primordial chaos energy, the ancestral energy of heaven and earth. It could transform any worldly essence energy. These undying demon spirits were evil creatures that were innately afraid of pure yang energy. As long as they were hit by pure yang energy, these undying demon spirits would immediately die. Feng-ji's demon phoenix's inner core was a pure yang object. A demon phoenix was a divine phoenix that had fallen into the devil Dao. However, even after falling into the devil Dao, its fire elemental energy had turned into devil fire. However, the nature of the devil fire didn't change, it was still a pure yang devil fire. The demon phoenix's inner core emitted the power of the demon yang. Ordinary undying demon spirits wouldn't dare to get close to it. However, this undying demon spirit with flesh and blood they encountered wasn't afraid of it at all. It even wanted to steal it. This caused everyone to be inexplicably shocked. However, Gu Fei quickly understood why this undying demon spirit wanted to snatch the demon phoenix's inner core. This undying demon spirit actually cultivated pure yang devil energy. To other undying demon spirits, this demon phoenix's inner core was fatal. But to this undying demon spirit, it was a supreme treasure of the devil Dao that could increase its cultivation. At this time, Feng-ji and the undying demon spirit were fighting endlessly. The two figures moved quickly in the void, causing muffled collisions to resound. The undying demon spirit's movements were a bit stiff at first, but as the battle continued, it became smoother and smoother. Demon Phoenix spreads its wings! Feng-ji roared. In the next moment, two pitch-black wings appeared on her back. She gave a thumbs up and flapped her wings. Countless black lights rushed out from her wings, covering the sky as they pierced towards the undying demon spirit. The undying demon spirit didn't make a sound. He hugged the air in front of him, and a yin-yang demon diagram immediately appeared. Then, a heaven-devouring force erupted from the diagram. Countless rays of black light piercing towards the undying demon spirit were all sucked into the yin-yang demon diagram and disappeared without a trace. This? Feng-ji was shocked. In the next moment, the pair of wings on her back turned into two immortal blade lights that slashed towards the undying demon spirit. The two saber lights slashed directly on the undying demon spirit's body, producing a clanging sound, as if they were slashing on a piece of divine iron. This? The demon sages were shocked when they saw this. What a powerful demonic body! Even Gu Fei was a little moved. Could this be the legendary indestructible Vajra demonic body? He Xiong exclaimed. Invincible and unbreakable? This is an extreme Dao-level demonic body! The other demon sages were also shocked. The undying demon spirit was sent flying more than 10 li away. Boom! It instantly smashed into a bone mountain. Rumble! The area around the bone mountain began to shake. Under the astonished gazes of He Xiong and the others, a huge skeletal hand reached out from the ground and grabbed the undead demon soul that Feng Ji had sent flying. Seeing this, Feng Ji immediately withdrew the demon phoenix's inner core. Run! Gu Fei shouted at He Xiong, who was still in a daze. Ah! He Xiong woke up with a start, and hurriedly led the others away. They only looked back in the direction of the Bone Mountain after fleeing for dozens of li. They saw that the area was shaking, and a terrifying aura of death enveloped the area. 2 undying demon spirits were fighting. No one could have imagined that a big guy was hiding under the Bone Mountain. Fortunately, the 2 undying demon spirits were fighting, otherwise, they would be in big trouble. Fear lingered in their hearts. He Xiong continued to lead the way. 4 hours later, they were already deep into the ancient battlefield, and the undying demon spirits they encountered were getting stronger. They even encountered a group of extreme Dao-level undying demon spirits. After a fierce battle, another demon sage was killed. At this time, only Gu Fei, He Xiong, White Bone Demon Sage, Feng Ji, and Shooting Moon Demon Sage were left. Even Hu Yaoming was dead. When Hu Yaoming died, he probably regretted stepping onto Underworld God Island. One should know that he was fine when the mysterious dragon lady swept the Fire Continent, and he escaped. Who would have thought that he would die on Underworld God Island? As they walked, He Xiong suddenly stopped. Everyone realized that there was actually an abyss in front of them, blocking their path. This is... Everyone was stunned. They couldn't see the other side of the abyss, because the sky above the abyss was filled with demonic chi, blocking their vision. Underworld God Demon Abyss. He Xiong's expression was complicated. This is the Underworld God Demon Abyss? White Bone Demon Sage's expression changed. Boss He, what do we do now? Shooting Moon Demon Sage looked at He Xiong and asked. The demon origin fruit is at the bottom of the abyss, He Xiong said solemnly. Then what are we waiting for? Feng Ji was getting impatient. It's not that simple. He Xiong sighed. At this time, you're still hiding it? That's too much, Gu Fei said indifferently. Everyone looked at He Xiong with displeasure. Sigh. He Xiong sighed and told them about his experience. As it turned out, this fellow had actually been here once before. However, they had gone through many hardships to reach this place. Yet, when they were exploring the Underworld God and Demon's Abyss, they were almost completely annihilated. Previously, He Xiong had followed his sworn brother here. His sworn brother was an incredible person who had explored many dangerous places in Nether Continent, and he had gained quite a lot. However, such an experienced explorer had fallen here, unable to come out from the Underworld God Demon Abyss. They had not even reached the bottom of the Underworld God Demon Abyss when they met with an unknown danger. That team had a total of 19 explorers, but only He Xiong had escaped. Why was he the only one who escaped? The reason was actually very simple. It was because he was the one walking at the very back. It was because he was the one walking at the very back that he had a chance of survival and successfully escaped. Otherwise, even He Xiong would have lost his life in the Underworld God Demon Abyss. Damn it, Boss He, you're too much, aren't you sending us to our deaths? White Bone Demon Sage pointed at He Xiong and scolded, his saliva spraying all over He Xiong's face. Everyone else's expression turned ugly. Chapter 4790. The Underworld Demonic Abyss was no stranger to the demonic cultivators of Nether Continent. This was because the legends of the Underworld Demonic Abyss had always been passed down in Nether Continent. It was said that the underworld demonic abyss was the burial ground of pure blood demons, and pure blood demons were the oldest demons in Nether Continent, or even the entire eternal world. The current demons were mostly not pure blood demons, and pure blood demons had long gone extinct. There were great dangers in the underworld demonic abyss, but there were also great opportunities. The legendary demon origin fruit was in the underworld demonic abyss, which was why He Xiong took the risk to come here again. As long as he could get the demon origin fruit, he could break through his current cultivation realm and become an extreme demon lord. In Nether Continent, to become a true overlord, He Xiong's cultivation had to break through to the extreme Tao realm, as eternal beings rarely appeared. Eternal beings would rule the extreme Tao. Wanting to get the demon origin fruit without taking the risk, there is no such thing in this world. He Xiong scanned the crowd and said, "That's right." Feng Ji nodded. "Those who don't want to take the risk, go back the way you came," He Xiong said. This White Bone Devil Saint and the rest looked at each other, but no one left. Since they were already here, who would be willing to leave? "He Xiong, do you have any way to go down?" Feng Ji asked. No one wanted to die, and the underworld demonic abyss was definitely filled with unimaginable dangers. He Xiong was someone who had been here before, and perhaps he was prepared. Everyone looked at He Xiong. He Xiong waved his hand, and a group of black things appeared in the air. Gu Fei focused and saw that the black mass was actually a swarm of devil bees, each the size of an adult's thumb. While flying, these devil bees didn't make any sound. "You want to use this swarm to explore?" Gu Fei smiled. "That's right." He Xiong looked at Gu Fei and said. Although it was a stupid idea, he felt that it was the best one. "Then let's begin." White Bone could not wait any longer. He Xiong had indeed come prepared. He Xiong was a little excited as well. He released a swarm of devil bees, which numbered in the tens of thousands. Under his control, they were like an army as they flew in an orderly manner to the side of the devil abyss. "Go!" He Xiong roared, and the dozen devil bees flew into the abyss. He Xiong hurriedly followed. Gu Fei could sense the fluctuation of He Xiong's divine sense on these devil bees, which meant that these devil bees were actually He Xiong's clones. This fellow was really awesome. He actually refined tens of thousands of devil bees into his doppelgangers. He wanted to use this method to explore the underworld god and devil abyss. Gu Fei and the others followed behind He Xiong. Above He Xiong's head was a large group of devil wasps. These demon bees were not just for show. They were the famous black demon bees of the Nether Continent. If stung, even a demon sage would be poisoned. With tens of thousands of black demonic bees, even a half-step extreme Tao existence would have to flee. The abyss was shrouded by a strange power, and even a saint demon could not fly. They could only climb down the cliff. Of course, those black malevolent wasps were flying creatures, so they were not affected by the mysterious power of the underworld divine abyss. He Xiong was prepared. He tied one end of the black rope to a boulder on the cliff, and threw the other end into the abyss, into the depths of the abyss. The black rope was long, and they climbed down. Soon they were more than 10 miles down. He Xiong, who was in front, suddenly stopped. A soft rustling sound came from the bottom of the cliff. "What's that?" Everyone was shocked. "It's..." He Xiong, who was at the bottom, exclaimed. "It's a King centipede." At this time, everyone could see what was crawling up from the abyss. It was a dense crowd of black centipedes as thick as an arm, crawling towards them from the cliff. The speed of the centipedes was not slow. They were not ordinary centipedes. They had been nourished by the demonic aura of the abyss, and had become extremely powerful. Even a saint demon would die if bitten. "Fortunately, I'm prepared," He Xiong said as he opened a bag tied to his waist. It was a spirit beast bag, which was specially used to store spirit beasts. Of course, this spirit beast bag did not contain any spirit beasts. "Caw, caw, caw!" A rooster crowed loudly, and a rooster shrouded in demonic flames flew out of the spirit beast bag. It was a demon fire rooster. As soon as the demon fire rooster appeared, it pounced on the demon centipedes on the wall. With a peck, it ate a demon centipede. The demonic centipedes immediately retreated down the cliff like a receding tide. The centipedes were intelligent. Knowing that they were no match for the demonic fire rooster, they retreated immediately. However, the demonic fire rooster was incomparably ferocious. It directly chased after the centipedes. The demonic fire rooster swiped its claws and several more centipedes were trampled under its claws. Then, the demonic fire rooster devoured them swiftly. Everyone was stunned to see the demonic fire rooster fighting the centipedes. He Xiong was really amazing. Where did he find a demonic fire rooster? It was not easy to tame a demonic fire rooster. The demonic fire rooster was a phoenix species, and had the bloodline of the demonic phoenix. Although the bloodline of the demonic phoenix was very thin, it was enough to make the demonic fire rooster a famous demonic bird. The underworld god and devil abyss was extremely strange and dangerous. If it wasn't for the demonic origin fruit, who would be willing to come to such a place? After the centipedes retreated, He Xiong quickly waved his hand, and the demonic fire rooster flew back to him, and he kept it in his spirit beast bag. The group continued to climb down, and they did not encounter any more centipedes. However, the underworld god and devil abyss seemed to have no end. They had already climbed for hundreds of miles, but it was still pitch black, and they could not see the bottom. Swish! At this time, there seemed to be a black shadow flashing through the hazy devil chi. Something is flying in the devil chi, the moon-shooting demon saint exclaimed. He was an archery demon saint, and those who cultivated the archery Tao had better eyesight than ordinary demon saints. Because of his strong eyesight, he could see clearly, and shoot accurately. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard that. The underworld god and devil abyss was filled with devil chi. Even Gu Fei could not see clearly what the black shadow that flashed through the devil chi was. However, soon, another black shadow flashed and disappeared in the devil chi outside the cliff. What was that? I don't know. I didn't see it clearly. Everyone was bewildered. Chapter 4791. In the depths of the ancient battlefield remnant on Underworld God Island, a demonic abyss lay across the land. Not only did it split the entire ancient battlefield remnant into two, but it also separated most of Underworld God Island. This was the Underworld Divinity and Demon Abyss, an incomparably dangerous place. This was the legendary burial ground of pure-blooded true devils. Even eternal existences would die if they entered. Since ancient times, it was unknown just how many powerful devil cultivators the Tao Devil Abyss had devoured. The Nether Continent was the birthplace of the demons of Eternal World. The Underworld God Island was the legendary ancestral land of the ancient Devil Court, the lair of the pure-blood true devils. However, the pure-blood true devils on this island had gone extinct, leaving behind only countless legends about this island. There were peerless demonic treasures here, attracting countless demonic path powerhouses to explore. There were also righteous path people who came here to search for treasures because not only were there demonic path treasures, but there were also immortal path treasures, god path treasures, and even demon path treasures. Legend had it that in ancient times, the immortals, gods, humans, demons, and Buddhas had joined forces to attack Underworld God Island and annihilate the insufferably arrogant Devil Court. Countless immortals, gods, humans, demons, and Buddhas had died on Underworld God Island. Naturally, they had left behind countless treasures. However, Underworld God Island had a power that surpassed the Eternal Realm. Any powerful living being that entered Underworld God Island, even in Eternal, would have their cultivation base suppressed to the sage level. The creatures on Underworld God Island were the same. They were all at the saint level. Countless people had once ascended Underworld God Island in search of treasures, but the vast majority of them had never returned. They had all died on the island. Only an extremely small number of people had managed to obtain peerless demonic treasures and become a hegemon of the demonic path. At this time, Gu Fei and the others had already climbed over 100 li down the cliff. The bottom of the cliff was still pitch black. Even with Gu Fei's martial Dao heavenly eye, he couldn't see the bottom. Suddenly, huge black shadows appeared in the demonic abyss, which was filled with demonic qi. They looked like demonic dragons spiraling in the demonic qi. "What is that?" the moon-shooting demon saint exclaimed. "It's definitely not something good," White-boned devil saint said solemnly. "Who cares what he is? Go to hell!" The moon-shooting demon sage drew his bow and fired 3 arrows at the same time towards the black shadow within the demonic aura. Clang! The sound of metal colliding rang out. Hearing this voice, everyone couldn't help but be moved. Swoosh! A black shadow broke through the demonic fog and charged at the moon-shooting demon sage. "This is..." When Gu Fei saw this thing, he immediately frowned. It was actually a giant centipede. On both sides of the centipede's feet, there were actually black wings. 12-winged demonic centipede? He Xiong exclaimed. Without hesitation, he opened the spirit beast bag and released the demonic fire rooster. However, compared to the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede, the demonic fire rooster's size was too different. The soaring demonic centipede was like a huge dragon with sharp teeth and thick armor that was impervious to swords and spears. The flying demonic centipede was the perfect killing tool. As soon as the demonic fire rooster flew out, the soaring demonic centipede abandoned the moon-shooting demon sage and pounced at the demonic fire rooster. In the next moment, the demonic fire rooster actually grew to the size of a small mountain and directly engaged the soaring demonic centipede in battle. The rooster directly leaped onto the soaring demonic centipede's back and with a single peck, it directly pecked a hole in the soaring demonic centipede's skull, causing black demonic blood to splatter. The soaring demonic centipede crashed into the cliff wall, but the demonic fire rooster's sharp claws were still holding on to the thick armor on the back of the soaring demonic centipede and pecked at its head. One had to admit that the rooster was really the centipede's nemesis. In a short while, the demonic fire rooster pecked the soaring demonic centipede's head into pieces. At this time, the demonic fire rooster pecked out the soaring demonic centipede's beast core and swallowed it. The 12-winged soaring demonic centipede's corpse fell into the abyss and disappeared instantly. "Black Boss, where did you catch such a ferocious bird?" Fengji asked in surprise. The white-boned devil sage and the moon-shooting devil sage were also dumbfounded. Everything had its vanquisher. The thick armor on the soaring demonic centipede was something that even the moon-shooting devil sage's arrows couldn't penetrate. Even if they were to attack, it wouldn't be easy to kill this 12-winged soaring demonic centipede. Gu Fei was watching the show from the side. This demonic fire rooster had the demonic phoenix bloodline. Although the bloodline was thin, there was a chance that it could evolve into a demonic phoenix. Of course, the chance was minuscule. There were no absolutes in this world. Even if it seemed impossible, it would often succeed. Even a pheasant could turn into a phoenix. Hee, I didn't catch it. I borrowed it. He Xiong laughed. Borrowed? Everyone was surprised. Who in the nether continent would rear such a demonic fire rooster? He Xiong didn't want to say more. But things weren't over yet. From the demonic mist outside the cliff wall, another 12-winged soaring demonic centipede rushed out. This soaring demonic centipede was much bigger than the previous one. Everyone was dumbfounded. At this moment, the demonic fire rooster that had eaten the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede became drowsy. He Xiong hurriedly put the demonic fire rooster back into the spirit beast's pouch. He Xiong, you! Everyone was shocked to see He Xiong keeping the demonic fire rooster. Only this demonic fire rooster could deal with the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede. Caw, caw, caw! Another loud cry rang out. Then, another demonic fire rooster flew out from He Xiong's spirit beast's pouch. Something's not right. Feng Ji and the rest realized that this demonic fire rooster was different from the previous one. Although it was still ferocious and pounced at the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede, its comb was different. This is a demonic fire rooster. It's a pair of male and female. If the rooster is around, so is the female. It won't be alone, He Xiong explained. I see. Feng Ji and the rest finally understood. The demonic fire rooster was also ferocious. It pounced on the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede's back and pecked at it viciously. The demonic fire rooster's peck pierced through the soaring demonic centipede's incomparably thick carapace. The demonic fire rooster's sharp claws tore through the centipede's carapace. No matter how the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede rolled and moved, it couldn't shake off the demonic fire rooster. In the end, the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede's carapace was pecked out by the demonic fire rooster and swallowed. After the demonic fire rooster swallowed the 12-winged soaring demonic centipede's carapace, the demonic fire rooster burned even more fiercely. Moreover, the demonic fire rooster didn't show any signs of drowsiness. Chapter 4792. In the depths of the underworld demon abyss, there was actually a 12-winged soaring demonic centipede. This shocked Gu Fei and the rest. However, He Xiong already knew that there was such a demonic creature in the abyss. Hence, he went to borrow a male and a female demon fire rooster. Then, in this dark abyss, a spectacular scene of a rooster and a hen fighting a centipede played out. Even Gu Fei was amazed. After the demonic fire rooster killed a 12-winged soaring demonic centipede, it raised its head and let out a loud cry. The demonic flames on the demonic fire rooster's body burned even brighter. At this moment, there was no longer a single demonic centipede in the surroundings. Of course, there were definitely more 12-winged soaring demonic centipedes in the abyss. However, at this moment, be it the ordinary demonic centipedes or the powerful ones, they were all hiding. Those demonic centipedes sensed the demonic fire rooster's aura and hid far away, not daring to appear again. Gu Fei and the rest continued to climb down the abyss. He Xiong did not keep the demonic fire rooster back into the spiritual beast's pouch. The demonic fire rooster shrunk to the size of a fist and sat on He Xiong's shoulder. With this demonic fire rooster, Gu Fei and the rest were not afraid of those demonic centipedes. What the hell, what's going on? He Xiong, how deep is this underworld demon abyss? When will we reach the bottom? White-boned demon sage said unhappily to He Xiong. Faster? Just jump down directly. He Xiong said unhappily. White-boned demon sage was speechless. If I dared to jump, would I still need to climb down slowly? Be careful, there might be great danger ahead, He Xiong suddenly said. Everyone was shocked. Among them, only He Xiong had been here before and knew a little about this place. If he said there was danger, then it must be true. Gu Fei focused his attention on the abyss and saw that the demonic aura was getting thicker. Even with his martial path heavenly eye, he could not see anything. This made him very depressed. One had to know that under normal circumstances, his god's eyes could see through all illusions. Nothing could hide from his heaven's eyes. Forget it, do you think the saint-level magical beasts here can hurt me? Gu Fei didn't say anything and continued to climb down with He Xiong. They continued to climb down for more than 100 miles. At this time, demonic aura surrounded them, and within the demonic aura, many demonic shadows rapidly approached them. What is that? The moon-shooting demon saint exclaimed. At that moment, He Xiong put away the demonic fire hen rooster and threw a bolt of divine lightning at the demonic shadow that was rushing up from the demonic abyss. Boom! The divine thunder exploded, releasing a destructive power of extreme yang. This was not the devil thunder, but the most authentic pure yang divine thunder. This thing was the nemesis of demonic creatures. It directly exploded the countless black shadows that rushed up and scattered them in the void. Don't let these things touch you, He Xiong reminded everyone. Could it be the same thing as those strange demonic shadows on the Black Fire Ridge? Feng Ji said in surprise. It's similar, and even more powerful. If we touch it, we will die. The last time, we died here. He Xiong's expression was nervous. He was holding another pure yang divine thunder bead in his hand. He was fully prepared for this trip to the demonic abyss. These things are afraid of the pure yang energy? White Bone Demon Saint exclaimed. That's right. He Xiong nodded. At this time, an incomparably sharp voice suddenly came from the bottom of the demonic abyss. The voice had a strong penetrating power, causing everyone's divine soul to tremble. At the same time, faint and illusory demonic shadows rushed up from the bottom of the demonic abyss. There were so many of them that it made everyone's skin go numb. Hey Xiong boss, we can't take it anymore. Why don't we retreat? The moon-shooting demon saint was frightened. He Xiong threw out a handful of pure yang divine thunder beads. Thunderclaps shook the sky, and balls of thunder fire exploded in the midst of the strange demonic phantoms. The demonic phantoms directly dissipated in the void. When will this ever end? Gu Fei sighed. In the next moment, he jumped down into the demonic abyss. His body instantly surged with dazzling pure yang fire. This? He Xiong and the others were stunned when they saw this. What happened? This Gu Hong fellow actually cultivated both immortal and demonic cultivation. Cultivating both immortal and demonic cultivation was nothing new in the eternal world. Even He Xiong thought that Gu Fei cultivated both immortal and demonic cultivation at the same time. When the immortal and demonic cultivation clashed with each other, his combat power would multiply. At this time, Gu Fei directly rushed down into the demonic abyss. Everywhere he passed, the strange demonic shadows turned into nothingness. He directly dove down into the demonic abyss. He was surrounded by strange demonic shadows. When these strange demonic shadows came into contact with the pure yang fire on his body, they turned into nothingness. This is... Very quickly, Gu Fei saw a scene that caused even his expression to change. There was actually an ancient palace floating in the air below, and countless devilish figures were currently rushing out from it. The source of the demonic shadows was in this hall. Without hesitation, Gu Fei leaped up the steps of the hall. Woo woo! A low voice came from the hall. This was the sound-killing technique. If it was an ordinary demon saint, the sound wave would have shattered their essence spirit and killed them. Gu Fei stood outside the door of the hall, blocking the strange demonic shadows. Swoosh! At this time, a sharp claw directly reached out from the hall, grabbing at Gu Fei outside the door. This was not a demonic shadow, but a real demonic living being. Humph! Gu Fei sneered. In the next moment, a sword light rushed out from his body, directly slashing the demonic claw that reached out from the hall. In the next moment, a strange cry sounded from the hall. Then, a demonic shadow directly pounced out from the hall, pouncing towards Gu Fei. Gu Fei instantly saw the appearance of this demonic shadow. This demonic shadow looked like an ape, but not an ape. It had a pair of long arms and was covered in black hair. This demonic shadow was incomparably ferocious. It was not even afraid of the pure yang fire on Gu Fei's body. It directly pounced towards Gu Fei. However, Gu Fei only slashed out with his sword. In an instant, the ferocious demonic shadow that pounced out from the hall was sliced into two. A particularly pungent smell of blood immediately pervaded the air. At this time, Gu Fei vaguely saw that there was a coffin in the hall. One after another, strange demonic shadows appeared from the coffin. At this time, the hall was filled with strange demonic shadows. Could it be that the demonic corpse in the coffin has turned into a corpse? Chapter 4793. At the bottom of the underworld divinity devil abyss, there was actually an ancient devil hall floating in the air. This caused Gu Fei to be extremely shocked. And he discovered that those strange devil shadows earlier were actually from a gigantic coffin within the devil hall. This caused Gu Fei to be even more shocked. One must know that the more powerful a person was, the more difficult it would be for their corpse to be preserved after their death. However, if the corpse was successfully preserved and underwent a corpse transformation, it would be troublesome. In the hall of the ancient devil hall, there was actually a coffin, and there were strange black shadows constantly coming out from the coffin. And with Gu Fei blocking the entrance, these strange shadows could not leave. Very soon, the devil hall was filled with people. Kill! Gu Fei's body trembled, and a powerful wave of pure yang energy erupted from his body, as though a divine sun had suddenly appeared in the world. Pure yang qi surged in all directions. Under the illumination of the divine sun, the strange demonic shadows were directly turned into nothingness. However, Gu Fei knew that as long as the devil coffin in the devil hall was still there, these strange shadows would not be truly destroyed. Extreme breaking fist! Gu Fei did not enter the devil hall, but he punched the devil coffin in the devil hall. Boom! In the next moment, a loud sound rang out. The devil coffin in the devil hall exploded, and a demonic shadow rushed out. Roar! The demonic shadow roared towards the sky, and the entire devil hall shook. It was terrifying to the extreme. At the same time, a pair of blood-red eyes stared at Gu Fei. This is... Gu Fei's expression was incomparably solemn. As expected, it was a corpse transformation. From head to toe, this fellow exuded a terrifying death aura. This was a corpse demon, and it was extremely powerful. Of course, no matter how powerful it was, this corpse demon's cultivation was still suppressed to the sage realm, infinitely close to the half-step extreme Tao. However, what surprised Gu Fei was that this corpse demon actually had an eternal devil body. This was a little difficult to deal with. It seemed like this corpse demon must have been an incredible devil Tao giant when it was alive. However, why was this demonic giant buried here after his death? The ancient devil hall floated in the air, enveloped by a strange energy. It didn't rise or descend, it was simply floating in the air. Why was this so? Was it intentional? Roar! At this moment, the corpse demon roared and pounced on Gu Fei, who was standing outside the main hall's entrance. Extreme breaking fist! Gu Fei threw a punch. Bam! His punch hit Shermo's chest and sent him flying back into the hall. After the corpse demon crawled up from the ground, he opened his mouth and inhaled. Countless specters in the hall actually flew into his mouth, and in an instant, they were all devoured by him. The aura of death on the corpse demon's body grew stronger after devouring countless strange demonic shadows. Fellow Taoist Gu, what happened? At this time, He Xiong and the others also came down from the cliff. When they saw the ancient palace floating in the void, they were inexplicably shocked. What's going on? The palace of the ancient devil Tao Supreme? The demon sages were surprised and delighted, thinking that there was a peerless devil treasure in the ancient palace. However, when the corpse demon walked out of the hall, these guys were dumbfounded. Then, they all ran away at the same time. The aura that erupted from the corpse demon was too shocking. Anyone who went up to it would definitely die. Therefore, this responsibility was naturally thrown to Gu Fei. If Gu Fei couldn't handle it, they would also have time to escape. The Devil Tao people only cared about themselves. They didn't care about the life and death of others. Didn't He Xiong recruit these people to come to Underworld God Island to make use of them? White Bone Demon Sage and the others knew that they were being used, but they still came. This was because there was a peerless devil treasure on Underworld God Island, and they had a chance to obtain it. The corpse demon's ferocious aura filled the sky, and it once again pounced on Gu Fei. I have a sword that can split the sky! Gu Fei pointed with his right hand, and a dazzling sword light immediately appeared in front of him. He waved his hand, and the sword light instantly pierced through. However, the sword light directly collided with the corpse demon's body, and it only made a fist-sized hole in the corpse demon's armor. However, the powerful impact forced the charging corpse demon to take a few steps back. The corpse demon roared and rushed forward again. How could the power of a sage injure the eternal devil body of the demonic corpse? Gu Fei used the heaven-trampling steps and soared into the sky. Then, he stomped down on the demonic corpse that was charging towards him. Violent energy surged out from his foot. Bam! Gu Fei's foot directly stepped on the corpse demon's head, and with a loud bang, half of the corpse demon's body sank into the ground. The corpse demon fiercely clawed at Gu Fei's right leg. Gu Fei once again soared into the sky, and then, with a flip, he landed in the distance. Ordinary attacks would not be able to kill this guy at all. The corpse demon directly climbed out of the ground and roared as it attacked Gu Fei. The corpse chi that erupted from its body seemed to have materialized. Two blood-colored rays rushed out of its blood-colored pupils. Then I'll play with you. Gu Fei's competitive spirit was aroused, and he directly faced the corpse demon. Bam! 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 Gu Fei used the form transposition technique, and in an instant, he heavily punched the corpse demon 3 times. The power of the great path contained in these 3 punches was of the sage level, but the pure power was far beyond that of the sage level. It should be known that Gu Fei had a genuine eternal martial body. These 3 punches, which were enough to destroy the primordial sacred mountain, directly smashed the corpse demon's armor, and left 3 deep fist marks on the corpse demon's body. However, Gu Fei saw that the fist marks on the corpse demon's body were actually slowly disappearing. The demonic body's self-recovery ability was very strong. What the hell is this? White Bone Devil Saint saw this scene from afar, and could not help but exclaim. Monstrous death chi, this guy can't be a corpse demon that came out of the coffin, right? Fingji stared at the figure shrouded in devil chi, her eyes extremely sharp. Although this corpse demon was powerful, it did not seem to have any intelligence. It only knew simple attacks, either pouncing or clawing. Of course, if this guy clawed, even a pinnacle great sage would be torn to pieces. Seeing this, Gu Fei deliberately led the corpse demon to the cliff, and then he stood beside the cliff. Roar! The corpse demon directly pounced at Gu Fei. Gu Fei waited for the corpse demon to pounce on him, and suddenly used the form transposition technique, and instantly moved a few steps to the side. The corpse demon, which missed its target, directly fell down the cliff. That works? He Xiong and the others, who were watching from afar, were dumbfounded. Such a powerful corpse demon was actually killed by Gu Fei just like that. Just when they had no time to rejoice, a sudden roar came from the bottom of the cliff, and the next moment, countless strange devil shadows rushed up from the bottom of the cliff. An endless aura of death filled every inch of the void. What? Chapter 4794. At the bottom of the abyss of the Underworld God on Underworld God Island, the peerless demonic corpse appeared and fought with Gu Fei. Fortunately, the demonic corpse's intelligence seemed to be faulty, and it was lured by Gu Fei to jump off the cliff. However, before He Xiong and the others could celebrate, countless strange demonic shadows rushed out from the bottom of the cliff. This is the legendary Shadow Demon Doppelganger. He Xiong finally revealed the origin of these strange demonic shadows. The Shadow Demon was an ancient giant of the Devil Dao, the supreme demon lord of the Eternal Realm. He did not expect to fall on Underworld God Island and be buried in the abyss of the Underworld God. Was the abyss of the Underworld God really the burial ground of the pure-blood demons? These strange demonic shadows originated from the Shadow Demon. As long as his eternal demon body was not destroyed, his demon body would automatically give birth to these strange demonic shadows. The strange demonic shadows would be attracted by the aura of living beings and would pounce on them. As long as they were pounced on by the strange demonic shadows, no matter what kind of living being they were, their essence, chi, and spirit would be instantly devoured by the demonic shadows, turning them into a dried corpse. Those with weak cultivation would even be instantly turned into dust when they were pounced on by the demonic shadows. Seeing the countless demonic shadows rushing out from the bottom of the cliff, He Xiong and the others were scared half to death. Oh no, we're dead this time. The white bone demon saint's face was paler than a sheet of white paper. 9 suns illuminating the sky! Gu Fei let out a loud cry and actually displayed the Golden Crow clan's divine ability. 9 balls of divine light rushed out from his body, as if they had instantly turned into 9 divine suns, illuminating the heavens and earth. The billowing true yang qi spread out like raging waves. Under the illumination of the 9 divine suns, countless strange demonic shadows that rushed up from the bottom of the cliff turned into smoke and dissipated in the void. He's not a demon. Is he an expert of the Golden Crow clan? He Xiong and the others were dumbfounded as they watched this scene. This guy is very mysterious. the great demon saints were afraid of Gu Fei. At this time, there were still countless strange demonic shadows rushing up from the bottom of the cliff. However, without exception, all of them dissipated after being hit by the Nine Suns' chi. As for Gu Fei, he was like a true Yan Supreme descending to the mortal world. He directly leaped off the cliff, and the countless strange demonic shadows dissipated one after another. Roar! An earth-shattering roar came from the bottom of the cliff. After that, there were no more strange demonic shadows charging at him. This, He Xiong and the others hurriedly ran to the edge of the cliff and looked down. What they saw made them dumbfounded. Light shone from below as palaces after palaces floated in the air. Groups of armored figures stood in the palaces and arranged their soldiers into formations. Immortal light coiled about and divine multicolored light illuminated the surroundings. This wasn't a demonic land at all, it was simply a heavenly palace. He Xiong and the rest were shocked to see such a scene in the underworld god and demon abyss. What happened? This white-boned demon sage's mouth was opened so wide that a duck egg could be stuffed inside. Are we looking for devil treasures or immortal treasures? Feng Ji was also stunned. Underworld Continent was the domain of the demonic sects, and Underworld God Island was a forbidden ground for the demons. It was truly unbelievable that an immortal Dao heavenly palace would appear here. At this moment, Gu Fei actually used a huge cauldron to suck the horrifying corpse demon into the cauldron. After keeping the corpse demon, he directly rushed towards the largest palace in this heavenly palace. He could actually fly in the air within this heavenly palace. How can he fly? The demon sages were dumbfounded again. What the F***ck are you all standing there for? Let's go get the treasures, White-boned demon sage said as he directly jumped down. That's right! The other demon sages were also envious. There were definitely peerless immortal treasures in this heavenly palace. Although they were demons, if they could obtain peerless immortal treasures, it would be the same to exchange them for demonic treasures. He Xiong and the rest naturally did not want to fall behind, and they all jumped down. When they entered the heavenly palace-like world, they suddenly felt their bodies lighten, and the suppressive force on them disappeared. They all chased after Gu Fei. At this time, Gu Fei had already arrived in front of the largest palace. Ha! Gu Fei used his martial path heavenly eye, and saw that the entire palace was shrouded in dense Dao patterns. These were array patterns, and the entire palace was shrouded in layers of array patterns. This should be a small world. Moreover, it was already a miracle that this small world could appear in the underworld god and devil abyss. The owner of this small world must have been an extremely terrifying existence when he was alive. Because even though that person had fallen, the small world that he created did not collapse, and it still existed. Surpassed eternal realm? Gu Fei guessed that the owner of this small world was likely in existence that surpassed eternal realm, because in this small world, his cultivation was not suppressed. As soon as he entered this pocket world, his half-step eternal cultivation base was restored to its original state. With his current cultivation, he could kill He Xiong and the other demon sages with a snap of his fingers. Dao friend Gu, why don't you go in? He Xiong and the rest caught up. Ancient demon sage White-Bone did not care that much, and directly rushed forward. However, the next moment, the white-bone demon saint let out a blood-curdling scream. It was as though he had hit his head on an invisible wall, and was sent flying back. There was a huge bump on his forehead, and he was in so much pain that he was tearing up. White-bone demon sage and the rest did not have Gu Fei's ability, and they could not see the countless array patterns hidden in the void in front of them. Demon? At this time, a voice suddenly sounded in Gu Fei's mind. In the next moment, the two generals standing in front of the palace suddenly raised their heads, and two incomparably sharp divine lights rushed out of their eyes. Then, heavy footsteps sounded, and the two generals actually passed through the layers of array patterns and walked out. The powerful pressure of an extreme Dao level erupted from the two generals. He Xiong and the rest immediately gave up. They had no choice but to give up. These two guys guarding the door were existences of the extreme Dao level. The pressure of the extreme Tao level erupted from the two generals, and He Xiong and the rest directly lay on the ground, trembling. The power of the extreme Tao was not something that a sage-level expert could contend with. Gu Fei waved his hand, and He Xiong and the rest were enveloped by a force, and in the next moment, they were involuntarily sent flying out of this small world. At this time, Gu Fei and the two generals guarding the palace began fighting. With a slap, Gu Fei smashed one of the generals into pieces, and directly killed him. Then, with a punch, he blasted another general into a bloody mist. Rumble! At this time, the entire immortal palace shook, and the army that formed the military formation suddenly came to life. Countless celestial soldiers and generals seemed to have recovered their vitality in an instant. This Chapter 4795. In a small palace-like world below the underworld demon abyss, countless celestial soldiers and generals suddenly regained their vitality, and charged towards He Xiong and the rest. He Xiong and the rest were shocked and immediately retreated out of the small world. When He Xiong and the rest retreated out of the small world, all the revived celestial soldiers and generals returned to their original positions as if they had never moved. How could this be? He Xiong and White-Bone Demon Sage were dumbfounded. This is unfair. Taoist Gu is fine after entering, but we're doomed? Moon-Shooting Demon Sage was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. There were definitely unimaginable immortal treasures in this small world, but none of them had anything to do with them because they did not dare to enter this small world. The awakened heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were too terrifying. Any random heavenly general could kill them directly. These heavenly generals were all at the extreme Tao level. At this time, Gu Fei started to break the protective array outside the Heaven Skills Center Hall. When he had triggered the array, he had been attacked by two extreme warlords. However, after he had killed the two extreme warlords, the small world had regained its peace. Gu Fei cultivated the martial path Heavenly Eye, and he could see through the void of heaven and earth with a single glance. He could find the flaws of any array with his martial path Heavenly Eye. Why? You still don't want to come out and meet me? Gu Fei suddenly said to the central hall on the opposite side. Sigh! Suddenly, a sigh sounded, and then, a faint and illusory figure appeared in front of Gu Fei. It was a white-bearded old man. You're still breathing. Are you trying to scam me or are you waiting for the fated one? Gu Fei used the martial path Heavenly Eye and could tell that this guy was just a remnant consciousness, not even a clone. It was just an undying remnant consciousness. Brat, how can you say that? The white-bearded old man was displeased, and he glared at Lin Fan. Isn't that so? If you're dead, then so be it. Why do you have to create so many things? Gu Fei said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Humph, don't think that you're so awesome. You can see through me, but I can also see through you. Brat, you're not a native of this everworld, but an outsider, am I right? The white-bearded old man sneered. You can even see that? Gu Fei was a little surprised. This guy was just a remnant will, but he could actually see through him. TSK, you dare to look down on me? When I, Hong Tian, roamed the eternal world, the world you lived in was probably still in a state of chaos. It hadn't been opened yet. The white-bearded old man said disdainfully. Hong Tian? Who was it? Never heard of it. Gu Fei said disapprovingly. What? You've never heard of me? How could anyone in the eternal world not have heard of me? I'm the invincible great emperor of the vast heavens. The white-bearded old man glared at Gu Fei. Keep bragging. Invincible great emperor? If you were really that awesome, would you have fallen in this underworld god and devil abyss? Gu Fei exposed his shortcomings without any mercy. You're really pissing me off. The white-bearded old man was really depressed. All right, why aren't you telling me how you managed to obtain this small world? Gu Fei was a little excited. This was a small world opened up by some great emperor of the vast heavens, who had surpassed the eternal world. Sigh. How about this? Worship me as your master, and you'll be the owner of this small world. How about it? The white-bearded old man sighed. This kid was not bad. Most importantly, he couldn't afford to waste any more time. If this went on, he wouldn't be able to keep this small world. It's that simple? Gu Fei didn't waste any time and knelt on the ground to pay his respects. The white-bearded old man was also stunned. This kid was too direct. He didn't even say anything. He should at least be a little pretentious. Forget it, this kid got lucky. Disciple greets master. Gu Fei smiled and got up from the ground. Forget it. The white-bearded old man smiled bitterly and shook his head. Next, he jabbed with a finger and a beam of divine light shot into Gu Fei's glabella. Next, many things appeared within Gu Fei's mind. Back then, countless people had wanted to worship him as their master. It turned out that Grand Emperor Primordial Sky's claim of invincibility was not an exaggeration. He was once an invincible existence, a Grand Emperor of Eternal World. In the end, however, he died in battle on Nether God Island, taking down a pure-blooded demon emperor with him. The pure-blooded demon emperor was also known as an invincible great emperor of the vast heavens. Back then, Nether God Island was the #1 demonic Tao force, a holy land for demons. However, after a world-shaking battle, Nether God Island was destroyed and Great Emperor of the vast heavens died in battle. All that was left behind was a small world and an indestructible remnant will. The white-bearded old man sent a great deal of information into Gu Fei's sea of wisdom. Next, the old man dissipated into nothingness. The remnant will of Great Emperor of the vast heavens had completed its task. There was no need for it to continue existing. By then, Great Emperor of the vast heavens was truly finished. As for Gu Fei, he had easily inherited everything here. The conversation between Gu Fei and the white-bearded old man was conducted through divine sense. Thus, He Xiong and the others had no idea what was going on. Great Emperor of the vast heavens hated demons the most. If He Xiong and the others had entered this small world, the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals he had left behind would have mobilized to kill off the intruders. Gu Fei was neither a demon's nor a member of the demonic Tao. Thus, Great Emperor of the vast heavens had chosen him and allowed him to inherit everything here. I forgot to ask him where I can find the fusion Tao fruit. Gu Fei slapped his forehead. How could he have forgotten such an important matter? In the next moment, he disappeared into the void. Where did Taoist Gu go? He Xiong and the others were shocked when they saw this. By then, Gu Fei had already passed through the layers of arrays outside the central hall and entered the central hall. There were many powerful figures standing in the hall. These people all wore strangely shaped armor and held Tao weapons. There were more than 100 of them. These people had their eyes closed and stood there quietly. No one knew how long they had been standing there. It was as if they had been there since the beginning of time. Gu Fei walked through these people step by step and climbed onto the throne in the middle of the hall. He sat down on it. Swoosh! The moment Gu Fei sat down on the throne, the hundreds of figures standing in the hall suddenly opened their eyes and knelt down in front of him. Greetings, Master! A wave of divine sense erupted from the figures at the same time. Ha ha! Chapter 4796. The vast heavenly emperor was a peerless expert who suppressed an era. After obtaining his inheritance, Gu Fei finally had a chance to surpass the eternal realm and become a supreme existence like the vast heavenly emperor. Of course, it was still too early for this to happen, as Gu Fei's cultivation had yet to recover to the eternal realm. However, the inheritance of the vast heavenly emperor allowed him to see something even higher than the eternal realm. Because it proved one thing, surpassing the eternal realm was possible, and not just a fantasy. The vast heavenly emperor was a successful example. At this time, Gu Fei also learned one thing, that was, if he didn't want to be suppressed by the power surpassing the eternal realm on Underworld God Island, then his cultivation would have to reach the same realm as the vast heavenly emperor. Because the power of the vast heavenly emperor could contend against the power of the devil path on Underworld God Island. The entire vast heaven realm was the inheritance of the vast heavenly emperor. After Gu Fei refined the vast heaven realm, he obtained the vast heaven treasure mirror left behind by the vast heaven heavenly emperor. The vast heaven heavenly emperor's lifelong knowledge was recorded in the vast heaven treasure mirror. Gu Fei directly put the vast heaven treasure mirror into his dantian, and nourished it with the heaven and earth grand mischi day and night. With his current half-step eternal realm cultivation, he could only open a small part of the vast heaven treasure mirror. However, even just a small part of the vast heaven treasure mirror was enough to captivate him. All kinds of supreme divine arts were too attractive. One of them was the Qi observation technique, a supreme spirit technique used to search for spiritual treasures. After cultivating this spirit technique, Gu Fei could tell whether there were treasures in a place with just a glance. Wasn't he looking for the Tao fusion fruit? Gu Fei directly cultivated the Qi observation technique. Fortunately, this spirit technique wasn't that complicated. If he used it together with his martial Tao heavenly eye, he would get twice the result with half the effort. After cultivating for half a day, he had basically mastered this spirit technique. Shua! When he reappeared in the outside world, He Xiong and the others were still looking around on the cliff. They didn't dare to go down into the devil abyss. Fellow Taoist Gu, what happened just now? He Xiong asked directly. I don't know either. Just now, I seem to have entered a void space. Now, I suddenly came out. I don't know what happened either, Gu Fei said. It was impossible for him to tell these guys that he had obtained the inheritance of Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. This was his biggest trump card, and only he knew about it. So that's how it is. That should be space-time turbulence. We must all be extremely careful. Not everyone is as lucky as fellow Gu, He Xiong said in realization. I say, Black Boss, where is the demon origin fruit you were talking about? That's right. We've already entered deep into the demonic abyss, but we haven't even seen the shadow of the demonic origin fruit. The other demon saints were getting impatient. If my guess is correct, the demon origin fruit should be down there, He Xiong muttered. Last time, they had taken the risk to enter Underworld God Island because they had obtained a treasure map. However, when they encountered the strange demonic shadow, they were almost completely annihilated, and only He Xiong survived. This time, not only had they passed the trial of the demonic shadow, but the trial of the Sky Palace had also disappeared. Not far below should be the place where the demon origin fruit was. The place where the demon origin fruit is located is called the demon blood pool. Everyone be careful, He Xiong warned. Of course. Who would dare to be careless in a place like this? The moon-shooting demon saint said angrily. Out of the 10 of them, only 5 of them were left. They had lost half of their team, and they didn't know if more of them would die. Then let's continue. What are we waiting for? Gu Fei said. He had used the aura observation art to take a look and saw treasure chi rushing out from several places not far below. The so-called treasure chi was actually demonic chi, the aura of demonic treasures. Let's continue. Everyone continued to climb down. At this time, Gu Fei was no longer suppressed by the power of Underworld God Island. Because he had refined the Hong Tian realm, he could use the Hong Tian realm's power to resist the power of Underworld God Island. In this way, he was invincible on Underworld God Island. His martial Tao heavenly eye swept down and saw through the layers of demonic fog. A bubbling blood pool appeared in his eyes. This should be the demon blood pool. The demon blood pool wasn't very big, but there were countless white skeletons rolling around in it, exuding a boundless demonic aura. Not far from the demon blood pool, there were several demonic trees growing on the cliffs. On the trees there were more than a dozen black fruits the size of an adult's fist. Were these the demon origin fruits? Although Gu Fei could see everything below, He Xiong and the others couldn't. There didn't seem to be any danger down there. Even if there was danger, Gu Fei wouldn't be afraid. After all, he had a half-step eternal cultivation base. On Underworld God Island, the cultivation base of all living beings was suppressed to the sage level. So, how could there be any demonic creatures on Underworld God Island that could threaten Gu Fei? He directly jumped down, and his figure instantly disappeared into the demonic fog below. This? He Xiong and the others were dumbfounded. Was this guy a fool? He actually dared to jump down the cliff. At this time, Gu Fei had directly descended to the cliff where the demon blood pool was located. The demonic aura that erupted from the blood pool was too strong. Perhaps the demon origin fruits on the cliff had been infected by the demon blood pool's overflowing demon Dao essence, which was why they were born. Taking advantage of the fact that He Xiong and the others had not come down, Gu Fei immediately plucked 7 or 8 of the best demon origin fruits, leaving only 6 for He Xiong and the others. Demon blood pool, demon origin fruits, I've struck it rich! When He Xiong and the others arrived, they were directly shocked by what they saw. The demon blood in the demon blood pool contained a strong demonic essence. The white bone devil actually took out a jade bottle and directly stored the demonic liquid in the demon blood pool. Just as the white bone devil was storing the demonic liquid, a blood-colored demonic shadow suddenly rushed out of the demon blood pool, directly entangled the white bone devil, and then pulled him into the demon blood pool. Roar! Save me! After falling into the demon blood pool, the flesh and blood of the white bone devil actually melted. In just a few breaths, the white bone devil turned into a skeleton and died. What? When the crowd saw this, they were all stunned. Even Gu Fei was shocked. He actually did not sense the existence of a demonic creature in the demon blood pool. It was a scarlet blood devil bone python. Seeing the white bone devil die so tragically, He Xiong and the others immediately distanced themselves from the demon blood pool, not daring to approach. Chapter 4797. No one had expected such a big guy to be hiding in the demon blood pool. The scarlet blood devil bone python was dozens of meters long. Although its body was made of bones, its bones were at the extreme Dao level. Every bone exuded a powerful demonic aura. The white bone demon sage was unlucky. He had thought that there was no danger around the demon blood pool and the demon origin fruits, but he had actually tried to collect the demon blood in the demon blood pool. Hence, he was unlucky. The scarlet blood devil bone python naturally did not dare to attack Gu Fei. It should be noted that Gu Fei was no longer suppressed by the power of Underworld God Island. The fiendish python could sense an extremely dangerous aura from Gu Fei's body. Therefore, when Gu Fei arrived, it could only hide in the demon blood pool obediently, not daring to come out. But because this devil python's aura had fused with the devil blood pool, even Gu Fei, a half-step eternal existence, couldn't sense its existence. The demonic power contained in the demon blood pool was extremely powerful, especially the bubbling demon blood. It had a strong corrosive power that could even corrode a demon sage's body. Soon, the white bone demon sage's skeleton was corroded. Even a sage-level demon bone could not be preserved in the demon blood pool. Seeing this, He Xiong and the others could not help but take a few steps back. Hurry up and pick the demon origin fruits, then retreat! He Xiong shouted at the moon-shooting demon sage. The moon-shooting demon sage hurriedly rushed to the demon origin fruits on the cliff. None of them had expected that Gu Fei had already picked the demon origin fruits once. The 6 that remained were the weakest ones. The moon-shooting demon sage saw that some of the branches on the demon origin tree had been picked, but he did not think too much about it. He picked the 6 demon origin fruits and retreated. At this time, Gu Fei had completely concealed his aura. Swoosh! Suddenly, a blood shadow rushed out of the demon blood pool and pounced at the moon-shooting demon sage. The python could not sense any threatening aura, so it went all out. He Xiong, save me! The moon-shooting demon sage rushed at He Xiong. Damn, aren't you trying to trick me? Seeing this, He Xiong immediately turned around and fled. The others also fled in all directions, including Gu Fei. Pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger was Gu Fei's strength. He Xiong, the moon-shooting demon saint, Feng Ji, and of course, Gu Fei were thrown into chaos by the scarlet blood demon bone python. Bam! The scarlet blood devil bone python caught up to the moon-shooting demon sage and sent him flying. He slammed into the rock wall, and rolled on the ground. Wow! Moon-shooting demon saint coughed out a mouthful of blood. Swoosh! The scarlet blood devil bone python charged towards the moon-shooting demon sage. Boss, hey, the demon origin fruit is with me. If you don't save me, the demon origin fruit will be finished. The moon-shooting demon saint sent out a wave of divine will. Damn it! He Xiong and Feng Ji had no choice but to charge at the scarlet blood demon bone python with all their might. Especially He Xiong, who had gone all out. Devil thunder directly smashed towards the devil bone python. This was the immortal slaying devil thunder. Even if a great demon saint was hit by it, his soul would scatter and scatter instantly. However, He Xiong was dumbfounded when the incredibly powerful immortal slaying devil thunder only managed to stop the scarlet blood devil bone python for a moment. Hum! At that moment, a deafening cry was heard. A demonic phoenix appeared in the void and pounced at the devil bone python. The devil bone python sprang up from the ground and started fighting the demonic phoenix. Gu Fei watched from the side and had no intention of making a move. Bam! The demonic bone python sent the demonic phoenix flying. The demonic phoenix dissipated and turned into a demonic bead that fell into Feng Ji's hand. The moon-shooting demon saint took the opportunity to flee. However, he had the demon origin fruit with him. Hence, the devil bone python had its eyes on him. After sending the demonic phoenix flying, the devil bone python chased after the demonic phoenix. Go to hell! The moon-shooting demon saint flipped his right hand and a demonic bow appeared in his hand. In the next moment, the moon-shooting demon saint fired 3 arrows at the same time. Each arrow landed on the devil bone python's body. However, the devil bone python's body was not damaged at all. Could it be an extreme downgrade bone body? The moon-shooting demon saint was really scared now. How was he supposed to deal with the devil bone python that possessed an extreme downgrade bone body? Kill! He Xiong attacked frantically. Countless electric sparks erupted from his body. At that moment, he seemed to have turned into a terrifying thunder demon. With a wave of his hand, a large area of demonic lightning blasted on the devil bone python. However, this level of attack was like scratching an itch to the devil bone python that possessed an extreme downgrade bone body. At most, it could only slow down its movement speed. Moreover, the devil bone python's movement speed was too fast. In just a flash, it had already entangled the moon-shooting demon saint. In the next moment, the sound of bones breaking could be heard from the moon-shooting demon saint's body. His entire body was strangled to the point where he no longer looked human. However, he was still alive. A terrifying scene took place. The moon-shooting demon saint's body shriveled up at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few seconds, all that was left of the archer demon saint was a skeleton wrapped in human skin. Its absorbing spirit essence. He Xiong was extremely shocked when he saw this. Thunder demon He Xiong was also a formidable figure. Among the demon saints, there were very few who could rival him. However, he felt powerless against this devil bone python that completely ignored his attacks. Dark demon flame! Feng Ji was furious. She opened her mouth and spat out a mouthful of natal demon flame. As soon as the demon flame appeared, the temperature in the void plummeted. Not only did the demon flame not emit any heat, but it also exploded with a shocking chill. The demon flame instantly enveloped the devil bone python that was entangled with the moon-shooting demon saint. Feng Ji! You! The moon-shooting demon saint was not completely dead. However, as soon as he was burned by the dark demon flame, his spirit was directly annihilated in the demon flame. A bag fell from the moon-shooting demon saint's body. This was the bag that the moon-shooting demon saint had used to store the demon origin fruits. It was unknown what kind of leather was used to refine this bag, but the powerful dark demon flame could not burn it at all. Demon origin fruits? He Xiong reached out his right hand and grabbed the bag that had fallen on the ground. The bag containing the demon origin fruit immediately flew towards him, and he caught it in his hand. Ha ha! He Xiong laughed heartily and flew up the cliff. This fellow had risked his life to enter the underworld god island, so he immediately fled. Moreover, he wanted to take all the demon origin fruits in the bag for himself. Hey Xiong, you bastard! The dark demon flame erupted with a strange chill. Although it was still unable to do anything to the devil bone python that possessed the ultimate Dao bone body, it was able to slow down the devil bone python. When Feng Ji saw that He Xiong had snatched the bag and fled, she immediately chased after him. The two figures disappeared from the cliff in an instant. Gu Fei looked at this scene coldly, but he did not make a move. They were just two little fellows. He would look for them later to play with them. Just as he was about to dive deeper into the devil abyss, the devil bone python shook off the dark demon flame on its body and pounced toward him. You're courting death. Chapter 4798. After killing the scarlet blood demonic bone python with a single punch, Gu Fei immediately activated his martial path Heavenly Eye. The martial path Heavenly Eye pierced through the void, peering into the 9 heavens and the 9 hells. The moment it appeared, he could see everything within 1,000 miles of the demonic abyss. Of course, 1,000 miles was only a small part of the underworld divinity and demonic abyss. However, Gu Fei could see 5 places where treasure aura was rising. One of the places was filled with treasure aura that even affected the surrounding weather. He Xiong and Feng Ji had left the underworld divinity and demon abyss. Only Gu Fei, who had obtained the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor's Hong Tian world, dared to continue searching for treasures in the underworld divinity's abyss. In fact, the demon blood pool also contained a large amount of demonic qi. However, Gu Fei had obtained the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor's inheritance, so how could he be interested in a small demon blood pool? Now, he only wanted to obtain the Dao fusion fruit and fully recover his eternal rank cultivation. Without hesitation, Gu Fei jumped into the demonic abyss. At this time, he could already fly in the void, even in the underworld divinity and demonic abyss. One had to know that the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor's power was comparable to the power of the underworld divinity island. Swish! Just as Gu Fei was about to descend, a series of black shadows rushed out from the cliff and pounced at Gu Fei at an extremely fast speed. They were flying demon scorpions the size of millstones. Ha ha! Gu Fei laughed heartily. In the next moment, countless sword lights flew out from his body and slashed at the flying demon scorpions. Then, a rain of demon scorpions fell from the sky. The smell of blood spread out, and terrifying roars came from everywhere in the underworld divinity and demonic abyss. The terrifying demonic creatures hiding in the underworld divinity and demonic abyss were all alarmed. The demonic creatures in the underworld divinity and demonic abyss were definitely the most terrifying demonic creatures on the underworld divinity and demonic abyss. However, even the strongest demonic creatures on the underworld divinity island wouldn't exceed the sage rank. Soon, the countless soaring devil scorpions that pounced at Gu Fei were all killed by his sword qi, and not a single one was spared. However, as Gu Fei continued to fly down, he saw a place where the aura of treasures was rising. It was actually shrouded in a layer of demonic light, like a giant demonic egg. What is this? Having obtained the vast heaven monarch's legacy, Gu Fei had gained some confidence. Naturally, he was curious about what it was. He grabbed at the rock wall with his right hand, and a large rock immediately flew towards him and landed in his hand. Then, he threw it at the demonic egg-like object below. When the boulder hit the layer of demonic light, it disappeared in an instant. Gu Fei's martial Dao heavens I could clearly see that the boulder he had thrown had actually penetrated the layer of demonic light and entered the void behind it. Could it be? Gu Fei thought of a possibility, and couldn't help but feel shocked and expectant. Could it be that the guy whom Grand Emperor Vast Heaven didn't hesitate to perish together with his life, still be alive? He had obtained the memory of a remnant consciousness of Grand Emperor Vast Heaven, and he knew that the pure-blooded demon ancestor whom Grand Emperor Vast Heaven had killed with his life was called Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. Gu Fei was very careful. He pondered for a moment, and the next moment, a divine consciousness rushed out from between his eyebrows and turned into another, Gu Fei. This, Gu Fei, took a step and instantly arrived in front of the giant, demonic egg. This was a divine consciousness incarnation, and it could use 20 to 30% of Gu Fei's strength, which was enough to easily kill a sage rank expert. Swoosh! Gu Fei's divine consciousness incarnation directly passed through the layer of demonic light and entered the demonic egg. And Gu Fei's real body was sitting cross-legged in the void. It was very strange that no demonic creature dared to approach the demonic egg. Indeed, when Gu Fei's divine consciousness incarnation entered the demonic egg really did contain a world, and it was a demonic sky. This demonic sky was definitely the opposite of the Grand Emperor Vast Heaven's Hong Tian realm. Because this demonic sky lacked vitality, demonic qi was spewing everywhere, and volcanoes were scattered all over this demonic sky. What the volcanoes spewed was not fire, but demonic qi. When Gu Fei's divine consciousness incarnation entered this demonic sky, a powerful demonic consciousness instantly enveloped his divine consciousness incarnation. Boom! Gu Fei's divine consciousness incarnation directly exploded. This was the legendary explosion on the spot. Outside the demonic sky, Gu Fei's real body, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, suddenly opened his eyes when he felt his divine consciousness incarnation being destroyed. As expected, Gu Fei directly rushed into the demonic sky. Puny human, how dare you disturb this emperor's slumber? Damn it! A demonic consciousness was transmitted into Gu Fei's mind. Just as Gu Fei rushed into the demonic sky, a figure appeared silently outside the demonic sky. This person was actually a woman. To be able to enter the Underworld God Island and enter the Underworld God Demon Abyss, this woman was naturally no ordinary person. This little fella sure knows how to cause trouble. Seems like I'll be able to have some fun. The mysterious woman's figure disappeared into the void without a trace. Rumble! At this moment, the entire demonic sky shook violently. The ground cracked open as an arm reached out from the ground. This was an arm covered in black scales. Monstrous demonic qi burst out from the arm, and one terrifying demonic shadow after another appeared around the arm. Suddenly, a gigantic figure broke out of the ground and sat up. An extremely terrifying demonic aura burst forth from this demonic body. The entire demonic sky became extremely unstable. Tisk, it's just a crippled demon emperor. Gu Fei sneered. This demon emperor was indeed the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor's opponent in the past, the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. However, he could clearly sense that although the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor looked strong on the surface, he was only equivalent to an Eternal Realm demon ancestor. With the Hong Tian realm in his hands, why would he be afraid of an Eternal Realm demon ancestor? In the West Sea of the Celestial Continent, he had even killed the old ancestor of the martial extreme immortal sect. You! The demon emperor was enraged as he stood up. The demon emperor stepped on the ground with his head in the sky. He was simply many times taller than the primordial demon mountain. The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was a ferocious and mighty demon emperor of the generation. He was a pure-blooded demon and an overlord of the Devil Dao. Blood-colored demonic light shot out from his blood-red eyes as he breathed in and out endless demonic qi. He lifted his right leg and stomped down on Gu Fei. Ha! Aren't you afraid of stepping on a nail? Gu Fei laughed loudly. He directly rushed into the sky and punched upwards. Bang! With a muffled sound, Gu Fei's punch directly hit the sole of the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's foot. The extremely violent fist energy directly shook the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor and forced him to take a step back. How is this possible? Chapter 4799. The fact that ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was still alive shocked Gu Fei. That's because the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor had sacrificed his life to perish together with this guy. Although the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor had died, this guy was still alive. Gu Fei had obtained the inheritance of the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. Therefore, the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor was equivalent to his master. This enmity of killing his master had to be avenged. Gu Fei's body flickered and instantly became as tall as the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. Kill! Without any nonsense, Gu Fei directly rushed towards the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. His first move was the extreme breaking fist. The horrifying fist energy was like 100,000 true suns exploding at the same time. It rushed towards the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor with unstoppable momentum. What? The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was shocked and angered. In the past, he had fought with the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. The battle had caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. In the end, even the underworld god island had been turned into ruins. The Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor had fallen, and the heaven and earth mourned for him. However, the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor had barely survived. The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor had suffered unimaginable damage. His demon body, which was known as the Invincible Devil Body, had been crippled by the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. Even his divine soul had been mostly destroyed. After countless years of recuperation, he had recovered with great difficulty. However, the speed of recovery was too slow. Only at this moment did he recover to the eternal realm. Compared to when he was at his peak, there was still a huge gap between them. Preposterous! A puny ant dares to compete with this emperor? The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor roared and also punched out. Rumble! The entire devil sky trembled. Spatial cracks appeared in the void between the heaven and earth. It seemed as if the entire world was about to collapse. The punch from the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor had directly aroused the power of the Devil Tao in the entire world. Boom! The two fists collided, and in the next moment, a terrifying force exploded. Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's world directly exploded, and the terrifying demonic power destroyed everything, obliterating the void, and directly submerging Gu Fei in this destructive power. This part of the world turned into primal chaos, and the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor also hid within the primal chaos. Humph! Gu Fei split the chaos with a punch and directly attacked ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. Kill! Demon Emperor Ancient Netherworld was enraged. With a single punch, a huge hole appeared in the primal chaos. It was as if a single punch could open up a world. The two experts started fighting in the primal chaos. In the end, they killed their way out of the primal chaos and arrived at the underworld god and devil abyss. The power of the nether divine abyss could not suppress the power of the ancient netherworld demon emperor. This shocked Gu Fei. This was the first time he had seen a demon that could ignore the power of the eternal demon abyss. The void of the eternal world was much more stable compared to the demonic sky created by the ancient netherworld demon emperor. Even an eternal-level existence would find it hard to cause much damage to the eternal world. The two experts fought endlessly in the nether divine abyss. Terrifying power fluctuations spread out in all directions. Everywhere they went, the incomparably hard mountain rocks would be shattered. Huge craters appeared on the walls of the demon abyss. Boom! Bang! Muffled sounds of collisions kept ringing out. Gu Fei was like a peerless war emperor, fighting head-on against the ancient netherworld demon emperor. It was a head-on clash. One step to heaven! Gu Fei disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already above the ancient netherworld demon emperor's head. Then, he stomped down with his foot. This foot seemed to trample the entire world under his foot. It was domineering to the extreme. Rumble! The void trembled slightly. What? The ancient netherworld demon emperor was both shocked and angry. When the other party's foot landed, he had no place to hide. He could only fight head-on. As long as he retreated, he would immediately fall into a disadvantageous position. He couldn't retreat. Your foot tramples the world, my fist shatters the sky. The ancient netherworld demon emperor roared. His right fist blasted upward like a cannonball. A phantom of a demonic dragon rushed out from his fist and pounced straight at Gu Fei. Rumble! The two supreme forces collided together, causing a shocking sound to erupt. Transparent spatial ripples appeared in the surrounding void. The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's ancient Netherworld Demon Dragon Fist, which had transformed into the phantom of the ancient Netherworld Demon Dragon, directly collapsed in the void. The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor fell from the sky. Boom! The earth trembled, and a huge crater was formed on the incomparably hard ground, causing dust to fly everywhere. At this time, neither Gu Fei nor the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor used their worldly aspect to fight. That was because using the worldly aspect in the eternal world would consume a lot of quintessential essence. Gu Fei was blasted high into the sky by the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's punch. I need to find a helper. He directly opened the Hongtian realm. In the next moment, one of the generals in the Hongtian realm suddenly opened his eyes. Then, holding a saber in his hand, he rushed out of the Hongtian realm. Ancient Netherworld, you are still alive? The moment that general rushed out of the Hongtian realm, he directly sensed the existence of the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. In the next moment, an extremely terrifying power erupted from the body of that general. Immortal Wu Ji? The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor rushed out of the crater on the ground. When he saw that general, he immediately exclaimed. Immortal Wu Ji was the #1 general under the great emperor of the Hongtian realm. In the war back then, countless demons had died in his hands. He was a terrifying god of death. Die. Immortal Wu Ji was not suppressed by the power of the underworld divine demon abyss. He directly erupted with peak eternal realm battle power, and charged at the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. 1. The demon extinction saber in his hand fiercely slashed down at the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor who was rushing up from below. Shwa! The saber light soared tens of millions of zhang and instantly descended on the top of the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's head. Roar! The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor bellowed. In the next moment, a demonic diagram rushed out from his body and blocked the demon extinction saber. Crack! Wu Jixian's devil-vanquishing saber actually managed to leave a 1-foot-long gash on the demonic diagram. What? Demon Emperor Ancient Netherworld's shock was no small matter. Immortal Wu Ji's saber light continued to descend. In the next moment, demonic blood splattered everywhere. The ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's left shoulder actually suffered a blow, and he immediately retreated. Immortal Wu Ji's war saber could actually injure the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. When Gu Fei saw this scene, he immediately became spirited. The #1 war god under the Hongtian Heavenly Emperor was not an exaggeration. At this moment, Immortal Wu Ji's attack succeeded, and he immediately attacked again. The saber light illuminated the heaven and earth, dispersing the demonic energy in the surroundings. The other demonic creatures in the underworld divine demon abyss had already fled, and no demonic creatures dared to stay. Clang! Demon Venerable Ancient Netherworld finally used his weapon. He raised a spear and blocked Immortal Wu Ji's mighty and invincible saber. Chapter 4800. At the bottom of the underworld divinity and demonic abyss, a war between immortals and demons broke out. Wu Jixian was the most capable general under Great Emperor Vast Sky. His cultivation base had reached the pinnacle of the eternal realm. Now that he had reappeared, he was able to force ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor to retreat. Saber-Chi rampaged and ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's demonic blood kept spilling out. This was the demonic blood of a demonic body that had surpassed the eternal realm. Every drop contained a huge amount of demonic chi. If such a drop of demonic blood appeared in the human realm or heavenly realm, it would directly destroy the entire world. Fortunately, this was the eternal world, and on the underworld God Island. This was the lair of ancient pure-blooded demons. When ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's demonic blood fell on the ground, it was absorbed by the earth and disappeared without a trace. Haha, fun! At this time, no one noticed that in the distant void, a veiled woman was riding a demonic dragon, watching this wonderful show. Clang! Wu Jixian roared and the saber in his hand collided with ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's spear. Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was sent flying again. He was unwilling to accept this. If he was at his peak, he could have killed Wu Jixian with a slap. But now, Demon Emperor had really fallen to the ground and was being bullied by this little guy from the immortal Tao. Ancient Netherworld, hand over your life! Wu Jixian brandished his saber and attacked Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. Gu Fei had no intention of taking action. This Wu Jixian should be able to deal with the current Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. After all, Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor's injuries were too serious. Even after countless years of recuperation, Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was still very weak. Facing an existence like Wu Jixian who was at his peak, it was already good enough that he was not killed. Boom! Demon Emperor Ancient Netherworld slammed into the stone wall, creating a huge crater in the wall. Go to hell! Wu Jixian gripped his saber tightly with both hands and slashed at the Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. The extremely sharp saber chi instantly left a long saber mark on the rock wall. This slash contained all of Wu Jixian's power. Wherever the saber light passed, an earth-shattering scream resounded. Demonic blood spurted out, and an arm flew off. At the same time, a battle spear shot out from the crater like a demonic lightning and directly pierced through Wu Jixian's left shoulder. Wu Jixian was sent flying several miles away by the demonic spear. He grabbed the demonic spear with his right hand and pulled it out. Blood splattered everywhere. At this time, the Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor slowly walked out of the pit on the cliff. His hair was messy, his face was ferocious, and one of his arms was missing. A peerless Great Emperor's sword almost split the entire Underworld God Island in half. This was the origin of the Underworld God Demon Abyss. Gu Fei had obtained some of the memories of the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. He knew that there was more than one Great Emperor who had participated in the battle. The Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor and the Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor had perished together. However, the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor had died, while the Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor was still alive. This was absolutely something that no one could have imagined. Seeing that Wu Jixian was about to be beaten to death, Gu Fei had no choice but to take action. Boom! At this moment, a loud sound resounded. The earth cracked, and a giant snake rushed out from the ground. It swallowed the Ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor, who was charging towards Wu Jixian aggressively. Gu Fei was dumbfounded. What the F***ck, this was really a turn of events. Was this even possible? The appearance of the Devil Python caused the entire Underworld God Demon Abyss to change color. Blood-colored devil lightning descended from the sky, wreaking havoc in the Underworld God Demon Abyss. The unlucky demonic creatures that were struck by the blood-colored devil lightning were directly destroyed in body and soul. Some of the more powerful demonic creatures could only resist 3 or 4 devil lightning bolts before dying tragically. Even Gu Fei had to avoid these devil lightning bolts. As for Wu Jixian, he was directly sucked into the Hong Tian realm by Gu Fei to recuperate. Within the Hong Tian realm, there were more than 100,000 immortal soldiers and immortal generals. This was Gu Fei's trump card. However, when the terrifying blood-colored devil lightning struck the body of the giant snake, it actually couldn't hurt it in the slightest. Moreover, the blood-colored devil lightning seemed to be targeting the giant snake. However, the giant snake was bathed in the blood-colored devil lightning and was actually devouring the essence of the devil lightning. What is this thing? Gu Fei was truly frightened. This giant snake was incomparably huge, like a mountain ridge. It coiled on the ground and emitted an incomparably shocking aura. Chapter 4801. The emergence of the giant snake caused a vast amount of demonic energy, shaking the heavens and earth. Blood-colored demonic thunder descended from the sky one after another, directly bombarding the giant snake's body. However, the giant snake simply ignored the terrifying demonic thunder. At this time, the incomparably huge demonic snake had already discovered Gu Fei. The giant snake directly swung its tail, directly whipping towards Gu Fei. Humph! Gu Fei sneered. In the next moment, he directly rushed into the sky. Boom! With a loud noise, rocks flew everywhere. The place where Gu Fei originally stood was directly smashed by the tail of the demonic snake, leaving a deep pit, and the surrounding ground also cracked. Heaven treading step, one step into the sky! Gu Fei directly displayed his trump card. With a flash, he appeared in the sky above the demon snake and stomped his foot down on the demon snake's head. Boom! The power of heaven treading step erupted from under Gu Fei's feet, directly stepping on the head of the demonic snake, which was even bigger than a mountain. With a loud noise, the ground shook, and dust flew everywhere. Gu Fei's foot directly trampled the hideous triangular head of the demonic snake into the ground. At the same time, a demonic light suddenly rushed out of the abdomen of the demonic snake, and a figure directly rushed out of the abdomen of the demonic snake. This guy was actually the Mongolian demon emperor, who was swallowed by the demonic snake previously. After all, ancient netherworld demon emperor was a magnate of the demonic path from countless years ago, an existence that surpassed the eternal realm. Even if his cultivation had just recovered to the eternal realm, it would not be so easy for a giant snake to eat him. Ancient netherworld demon emperor, who rushed out of the belly of the demonic snake, directly wanted to escape. Boom! Gu Fei directly blasted a punch at ancient netherworld demon emperor, and the violent fist energy shook the world. Little guy! Ancient netherworld demon emperor was shocked and angry. He also punched out, meeting Gu Fei's fist. Bam! With a muffled sound, demon emperor ancient netherworld was sent flying, and demon blood sprinkled in the air. At this time, the demonic snake swept towards Gu Fei in a frenzy. Humph! Like a phantom, Gu Fei dodged the attack. At the same time, the demon snake rushed towards ancient netherworld demon emperor and swallowed ancient netherworld demon emperor. This demon snake was extremely ferocious. The wound on its abdomen that had just been split open by the ancient netherworld demon emperor had actually disappeared, as if it had never been injured in the first place. A demon snake with an eternal demon body? Looking at this scene, Gu Fei was truly taken aback. If this demon snake were to leave the underworld god island, no one would be able to control it. Boom! With a loud bang, the entire demon snake suddenly exploded in the middle and broke into two. The extremely unlucky demon emperor netherworld rushed out again, but this time, he was even weaker. Die! Without hesitation, Gu Fei immediately displayed his extreme speed and rushed over. With a single sword strike, he split ancient netherworld demon emperor in two. A drop of demon blood was dripping from the tip of the divine sword in Gu Fei's hand. This was a divine sword that he had taken out from the Hongtian realm. Even if ancient netherworld demon emperor had the strongest demon body, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. And just as Gu Fei split ancient netherworld demon emperor in two, a ball of demonic light rushed out from ancient netherworld demon emperor's body and instantly disappeared in the sky above the underworld god demon abyss. Seeing this, Gu Fei felt helpless. In the end, he still couldn't kill this demon emperor. The ball of demonic light that rushed out from ancient netherworld demon emperor's body must be his divine soul. Ancient netherworld demon emperor's divine soul had escaped. As long as this fella could find a suitable body, he would be able to reincarnate. At this time, the demonic snake that was split into two by ancient netherworld demon emperor kept rolling on the ground. In the end, the two parts of the demonic snake actually joined together and fused together. Even this is possible? Gu Fei was a little surprised. However, he didn't give this fella any chance. Since he had already made his move, he would kill them all. These demonic creatures were too powerful. It didn't matter if they were trapped in the underworld god demon abyss. However, once they left the underworld god demon abyss and rushed out of the underworld god island, there would be a good show to watch. Swish! Gu Fei directly rushed past the demonic snake's head. That gigantic head that was bigger than a mountain directly fell off. However, in the next moment, boom! The gigantic snake's head exploded. Another ball of demonic light soared into the sky and disappeared in the sky above the underworld god demon abyss. These fellas! Gu Fei was already prepared. However, he didn't expect that the demonic snake would actually make such a move. The gigantic snake's head exploded, and the force that erupted was extremely strong. This force directly sent Gu Fei flying, and he landed far away. Otherwise, how could the demonic snake's divine soul escape? One must know that Gu Fei cultivated the heaven-treading steps. With one step, he could step into the sky and roam the universe. Gu Fei had the world's fastest speed. The aura emitted from ancient netherworld demon emperor and the demonic snake's corpse was very shocking. Even if it was just a corpse, it could still intimidate the demonic creatures. The other demonic creatures didn't even dare to approach this area. I can't waste it. Gu Fei directly circulated his mystic art to devour the pure demonic chi from the underworld god demon emperor's corpse. This fellow was a pure-blooded demon. The demonic chi in his body was even more precious than the immortal divine medicine. This was a power that surpassed the eternal pure-blooded demon emperor. Who wouldn't want to have it? Rumble. Very soon, a thunderous sound came from Gu Fei's body. This was the sound produced when the true essence in his body was circulating crazily. Just as Gu Fei was refining the essence contained in the ancient netherworld demon emperor's corpse, in the sky above the underworld god and devil abyss, there were two soul lights floating beside the mysterious demoness who was standing on a demonic dragon. Among the two balls of soul light, one of them was a supreme devilish shadow, while the other one was a small black snake. These two soul lights were the divine souls of the ancient netherworld demon emperor and the peerless demonic snake. Their divine souls were actually intercepted by the mysterious demoness. Old ancestor, please let this lowly one go. The underworld god demon emperor's divine soul seemed to be very afraid. In front of the mysterious demoness, he, the supreme demon emperor who had once dominated the world and even fought to death with Hong Tian heavenly emperor, was actually like a mouse in front of a cat. Even the peerless demonic snake's divine soul was shivering with extreme fear. When I'm done playing, I will naturally let you go. The mysterious demoness smiled. The ancient netherworld demon emperor was really speechless. Even though this ancestor had lived for countless years, she still loved to play. Back then, it was this ancestor who destroyed the underworld god island. Whenever this ancestor appeared, nothing good would happen. The ancient netherworld demon emperor couldn't be afraid because no matter how this ancestor played, he would be fine and wouldn't die. But he was different. He could die because even at his peak, his cultivation had not reached the realm of immortality. Chapter 4802. The peerless demoness had a great background. Even the ancient netherworld demon emperor was scared half to death when he saw her. In front of the demoness, the ancient netherworld demon emperor was like an obedient baby. Even the ferocious devil snake divine soul didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of the demoness. This little guy is really surprising. The demoness looked down at Gu Fei, who was devouring the devil Dao Yuan Qi contained in the ancient netherworld demon emperor's corpse. Her eyes couldn't help but turn into a crescent moon. Could it be that this old ancestor has come up with another method to harm me? The ancient netherworld demon emperor's divine soul looked at the demoness in horror. At this time, at the bottom of the underworld divine devil abyss, Gu Fei had completely devoured the devil Dao essence Qi contained in devil emperor netherworld's corporeal body. Although this essence Qi was powerful, it was not enough to help Gu Fei break through to the eternal realm. Gu Fei was very clear that if he wanted to restore his eternal realm cultivation, he couldn't simply devour the devil Dao Yuan Qi of other experts. It seems that I still have to find the fusion Dao fruit. Gu Fei let out a long sigh and stood up from the ground. Alas, do I have to find that He Xiong? Thinking of this, Gu Fei directly soared into the sky and flew above the underworld god and devil abyss. However, he didn't notice the presence of the demoness even though he was less than 2,000 feet away from her. Even the divine souls of Devil Monarch Netherworld and the dark demon snake that were beside the demoness didn't notice him. It was like he couldn't see the demoness. At this time, in a mountain near the underworld god and devil abyss, two figures were moving fast and fighting fiercely. Hey Xiong, do you want to take the devil origin fruit for yourself? Feng Ji, it's my ability to get the devil origin fruit. If you continue to pester me, I'll fall out with you. These two people were He Xiong and Feng Ji. This time, of the 10 sage-level experts who came to Underworld God Island, only Gu Fei, He Xiong, and Feng Ji survived. The others were already dead. Damn it, this old lady is afraid of you falling out with me? Feng Ji was furious. Boom! Feng Ji immediately used the demon phoenix inner core. A ball of demon fire rushed out of her body and turned into a fire phoenix that pounced at He Xiong. Alright, then let's kill! He Xiong didn't hesitate. In the next moment, boundless demonic lightning rushed out of his body and blasted at the fire phoenix. Suddenly, the sound of thunder was deafening, and a terrifying destructive aura spread out. Everything that was struck by the demonic lightning was directly turned into ashes. The fire phoenix dissipated, and He Xiong's devil thunder also dissipated in the void. Their cultivation bases were about the same. Neither of them could do anything to the other. With a wave of Feng Ji's hand, the demon phoenix's inner core landed in her hand. If we continue to fight, both of us will suffer. Do you really want to fight me to the death? Feng Ji stared coldly at He Xiong. What do you want? He Xiong stared at Feng Ji solemnly. I only want 2 demon origin fruits. You can have the rest. How about that? Feng Ji said. 2 demon origin fruits? He Xiong pondered for a while. Seeing He Xiong's hesitation, Feng Ji added, if we work together, both of us will benefit. If both of us are injured, do you think you can leave Underworld God Island alive? This wasn't He Xiong's first time entering Underworld God Island. Last time, he almost died in the abyss of Underworld God. This time, it was also a close shave. Fortunately, he had finally obtained the demon origin fruit, and not just 1, but 6. He knew very well that even if he was in peak condition, it would definitely not be easy to leave Underworld God Island. If he fought with Feng Ji and both of them were injured, it would be impossible for him to leave Underworld God Island. The abyss of Underworld God and the abyss of Underworld God was very far from the sea. Crossing the ancient battlefield ruins was an extremely dangerous task. If he worked together with Feng Ji, his chances of leaving Underworld God Island would definitely increase. Just as Feng Ji said, both of them would benefit from working together. Do you still need to think about it? Feng Ji sneered. Think about what? At that moment, a voice came from the sky. In the next moment, a figure descended from the sky and landed between the two of them. View! Taoist Gu? Gu Hong? He Xiong and Feng Ji were shocked. Gu Hong was Gu Fei's alias. He Xiong, you seem to have forgotten something. Gu Fei looked at He Xiong coldly and said, What did you say? He Xiong was confused. Are you trying to act dumb in front of me? Gu Fei was displeased. His gaze toward He Xiong instantly turned sharp. Taoist Gu, you! He Xiong was shocked when he saw Gu Fei's expression. At this moment, Feng Ji was watching the show from the side. Now that you've gotten what you want to leave just like that? There's no such thing in this world. Gu Fei's voice turned cold. Ah, you're saying. He Xiong came to a realization. Tell me, where is the thing I want? Gu Fei looked at He Xiong expressionlessly. As long as this guy dares to evade, I'll kill him and search his soul. I don't believe that I can't deal with this guy. It's in the underworld demonic abyss, He Xiong said hurriedly. Gu Fei's gaze was terrifying. He had a feeling that if he didn't say it, Gu Fei would kill him without hesitation. The exact location. Gu Fei didn't want to waste his breath on this guy. Demonic energy soars to the 9 heavens, demonic stars illuminate the sky. The Dao fusion fruit is here, He Xiong said seriously. Demonic energy soars to the 9 heavens, demonic stars illuminate the sky? Gu Fei said in a low voice. That's all I know, He Xiong said. All right, I hope you're not lying to me. If I find out that you're lying to me, I'll hunt you down even if you run to the ends of the world and kill you. Gu Fei stared at He Xiong with a solemn expression. How would I dare to lie to Taoist Gu? He Xiong said with a fake smile. Humph. Gu Fei sneered and soared into the sky. heading towards the underworld demonic abyss again. He Xiong heaved a sigh of relief after seeing Gu Fei leave. Gu Fei gave him too much pressure. He had a feeling that if Gu Fei wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as killing an ant. Alright, let's work together and leave Underworld God Island together. He Xiong took out 2 demon origin fruits and threw them to Feng Ji. At this moment, he couldn't wait to leave this place and find a safe place to break through to the half-extreme realm. Humph. Feng Ji took the 2 demon origin fruits and carefully put them away. Let's go then. Feng Ji was in a good mood after getting what she wanted. He Xiong and Feng Ji were together for the time being. However, the 2 of them were not on the same page. No one knew what would happen next. Chapter 4803. Eternal World, Underworld God Island. Above the abyss of Underworld God, a figure flew past at high speed. A powerful divine sense burst out from this figure and swept through the abyss of Underworld God. This person was none other than Gu Fei. He was looking for the place with the densest demonic energy in the abyss of Underworld God. Boom! When Gu Fei was passing by a place, a wave of demonic energy suddenly rushed out from the abyss of Underworld God. The whole world turned dark in an instant. Roar! An earth-shattering roar resounded. The figure of a demonic dragon was faintly discernible in the demonic energy. The huge figure of the demonic dragon was like a black mountain, exuding a terrifying demonic might. A pair of huge blood-red demonic eyes were faintly discernible in the demonic energy. This demonic dragon was obviously alarmed by Gu Fei's divine sense, so it rushed out. Boom! With a muffled sound, this demonic dragon actually spouted a wave of demonic fire at Gu Fei. This wave of demonic fire instantly enveloped Gu Fei and turned the void around him into a sea of fire. Just a long worm at the pinnacle of sacred level. How dare you provoke me? Gu Fei was somewhat speechless. He did not release his quasi-eternal aura. This demonic dragon had no idea who it had provoked. In the next moment, Gu Fei's body suddenly turned into a bottomless black hole. In an instant, all the demonic fire around him was completely devoured. Seeing that the situation was not good, the demonic dragon immediately wanted to escape. However, Gu Fei's right hand grabbed at the demonic dragon. This demonic dragon immediately struggled to fly towards him. Moreover, its body that was bigger than a mountain rapidly shrank. In the end, it was caught in his hand. The demonic dragon really turned into a long worm. It kept struggling in Gu Fei's hand. It even bit Gu Fei's wrist. However, Gu Fei was not injured by its bite. Instead, some of its incomparably sharp teeth were broken. Encountering such a monstrous human, this demonic dragon began to doubt its dragon life. Gu Fei did not stand on ceremony. He immediately searched the soul of this devil dragon, and found out everything about this devil dragon. He also knew where the most dangerous place in the underworld god and devil abyss was. Respected existence, I'm willing to recognize you as my master. Please let me go. A demonic thought appeared in Gu Fei's mind. Gu Fei pondered for a moment. Then, he directly planted a forbidden technique on the demon dragon's body before releasing it. The moment the demonic dragon rushed out from Gu Fei's hand, it immediately became incomparably huge. Its whole body was surrounded by demonic flames, and its ferocious might was simply monstrous. However, at this moment, this ferocious mystic dragon was as obedient as a kitten in front of Gu Fei. It didn't dare to act presumptuously and acted cautiously. Gu Fei flew up and stood on the back of the mystic dragon. The demon dragon soared into the sky and charged towards the depths of the underworld god and demon abyss. This devil dragon was the underworld fire demon dragon. It was the overlord of the underworld god and demon abyss. Wherever it passed, other demonic creatures would all retreat. Of course, there were countless powerful demonic creatures bred in the underworld god and demon abyss. Although this underworld fire demon dragon was powerful, there were still many existences that could go against it. Just as the underworld fire demon dragon passed by a place filled with white bones, an incomparably huge skeleton broke through a mountain of bones and rushed out. "Little worm, how dare you come to my territory and behave atrociously? You're courting death!" This white skeleton wasn't a human skeleton. It was the skeleton of a Qilin. To be more precise, it was the demon Qilin's skeleton that had gained sentience and cultivated. Within the demon Qilin's skull, a ball of demonic light shone brighter than the sun. Then, the skulls of the countless skeletons on the ground suddenly lit up with soul light. One by one, the skeletons stood up from the ground. One couldn't even see the end of it. This was definitely an army of death. This Qilin skeleton was the overlord of this area. When the Qilin skeleton king and the underworld fire demon dragon met, a huge battle was inevitable. "Little fellow, you can play here for a while." Gu Fei took a step forward and instantly disappeared into the void. Boom! The two overlords of the underworld god and demon abyss started a huge battle. The entire area shook. Terrifying demonic aura spread throughout the underworld god and demon abyss, alarming countless powerful demonic creatures in the underworld god and demon abyss. At this time, Gu Fei was far away from the battlefield. Passing through the thick demonic fog, he saw a pillar of demonic aura rising from the underworld god and demon abyss, connecting heaven and earth. Within the demonic aura, there was a vague shadow of a dragon. Demonic aura dragon? Seeing this, Gu Fei couldn't help but be overjoyed. Demonic aura dragon soaring to the 9 heavens! Gu Fei couldn't help but exclaim. This pillar of demonic aura contained a terrifying amount of demonic energy. It wasn't any weaker than the 10 absolute demonic star that he had refined in the past. If he could refine and absorb such a huge amount of demonic energy, his cultivation base would definitely increase greatly. Even if he couldn't break through his current cultivation shackles, his battle prowess would definitely increase greatly. The demonic star illuminates heaven and earth. Where's the demonic star? Gu Fei raised his head and looked into the sky. His gaze pierced through the layers of demonic fog and directly saw the starry sky. This wasn't a big deal, but it gave him a huge fright. He saw a demonic star emitting boundless demonic light that illuminated the entire sky. Endless demonic stars spread out, and all the demonic experts in the underworld continent were incomparably excited. With the demonic star in the sky, there must be a huge opportunity. Moreover, some of the demonic experts knew that the demonic star in the sky had some sort of connection with the underworld god island. With the demonic star in the sky, the seal on the underworld god island would be ineffective for a period of time. At this time, the figures of many huge ships appeared in the sea around the underworld god island. There were also huge demonic halls and demonic mountains in the sky. The big shots of the Eternal Demon sect also appeared in the sea near the underworld god island. The Heavenly Demon Cult, the Six Paths Evil Alliance, the Eternal Demons, and other demonic forces of various sizes had all come. A cycle of 3,000 years. Finally, the demonic star has descended. On the bow of a huge demonic ship stood a red-haired old man. The old man raised his head and looked up. In his eyes there seemed to be a demonic sky evolving. "Ha ha! Scarlet Sky old ghost, you're not dead yet?" A loud laugh came from the horizon. A huge demonic figure appeared in the sky, its voice shaking the heavens and earth. "Lawless old ghost, you're not dead yet. How would I dare to go first?" The red-haired old man raised his head and looked at the demonic figure in the sky. Hee, it's been so many years. Let's play?" The lawless demon lord laughed. "Then I'll play with you. Who's afraid of who?" The red-haired old man, the Scarlet Sky Demon Lord, soared into the sky from the bow and rushed towards the demonic figure in the distance. A huge battle erupted in the sky. Extremely powerful demonic energy erupted, and the entire underworld god sea surged with towering waves. Countless demonic creatures were incomparably terrified, and they directly fled for their lives. "Two lunatics!" Chapter 4804. The Devil Star shines brightly in the sky. It appears once every 3,000 years. It attracts all the major forces of the Devil Tao to gather in the underworld god sea. Outside Underworld God Island, experts appeared. Huge demonic ships that looked like islands appeared on the surface of the sea outside Underworld God Island. High up in the sky, there were also many devil mountains and devil halls. This was definitely a place where major characters would travel. Is it Sky Demon Cult's Lawless Demon Lord and Six Paths Evil Alliance's Scarlet Heaven Demon Lord fighting? What are those two doing? The seal on Nether God Island hasn't lost its effect yet. Tisk, who cares if they want to fight? It would be best if these two old fellows fight to the death. Countless onlookers of the demonic path were watching the show. Everyone was waiting for the seal on Underworld God Island to fail. That way, they would be able to break into Underworld God Island and not have to worry about their cultivation being suppressed by the power of the seal. Underworld God Island contained the supreme inheritance of the primordial demons. All the demonic path powerhouses coveted it. However, after that earth-shattering battle in ancient times, Underworld God Island was jointly sealed by the supreme existences. All powerful beings that entered Underworld God Island would have their cultivation suppressed to the sage rank the moment they stepped onto the island. Even eternal ones were no exception. However, the seal on Underworld God Island also had a weakness, and that was the demon star. The demon star in the sky was rumored to have been formed by a supreme pure-blooded demon ancestor in an extremely long time. The power of the demon star resonated with the power of the demonic Tao on Underworld God Island, causing the seal on Underworld God Island to fail. Of course, Underworld God Island's seal would only last for about half a month. Once Demon Star left, Underworld God Island's seal would recover. The orbit of the Devil Star followed a regular pattern. Every 3,000 years, the Devil Star would orbit above Underworld God Island. This was when the Devil Star was closest to Underworld God Island. For this half a month, they would have to wait 3,000 years. Of course, in the eyes of extreme Daos and eternal Daos, 3,000 years was but a snap of the fingers. Some old monsters could go into seclusion for tens of thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years. Soon. At this time, some old-timers of the Devil Tao were looking up at the scarlet Devil Star in the starry sky. The demonic star exuded a boundless demonic aura as it rapidly approached Nether God Island. What happened? On Underworld God Island, Gu Fei, who was in the Underworld God and Demon Abyss, could keenly sense that this part of the world had changed. There seemed to be some kind of power awakening on Underworld God Island. Whatever, let's find the Tao integration fruit first. Gu Fei directly rushed towards the demonic pillar formed by the demonic energy in front of him. Beneath the demonic pillar, the primordial chi of heaven and earth gathered. A spirit root took root on a boulder that was shrouded in primordial chi. It was a strange tree that was only 3 feet tall. 3 fruits that were shrouded in the aura of the great Tao hung from its branches. The 3 fruits were only the size of an adult's thumb, but the insides of the fruits seemed to have condensed the great Tao of heaven and earth. It was as if a world was being nurtured. Tao integration fruit? When Gu Fei saw this, he was overjoyed. By eating the Tao fusion fruit, his eternal stage cultivation base would instantly recover, and he would no longer be suppressed by the heavenly Tao of eternal world. When that happens, won't I be able to do as I please in eternal world? However, Gu Fei was very careful. How could there not be powerful creatures guarding the vicinity of such a heaven-defying divine medicine? 1. Gu Fei released his divine sense. Next, demonic silhouettes appeared out of thin air near the demonic energy pillar. Every one of the blurry demonic silhouettes exuded a heart-palpitating demonic aura. Should the demonic silhouettes pounce on them, they would instantly be demonized, transforming into demonic creatures that only knew how to kill. A total of 18 demonic silhouettes were standing around the Chaos Stone. The Chaos Stone was also known as the Primordial Chaos Stone. It contained the primordial chaos energy of eternal world. No one could have imagined that such a divine stone could be found within the abyss of Nether God Island. Only this divine stone could give birth to the Tao integration fruit. Hand of Heaven transformation! Gu Fei had no desire to get entangled with the demonic silhouettes. Thus, he immediately utilized his eternal technique. The power of heaven transformation spread out to envelop the 18 demonic silhouettes. Next, the 18 demonic silhouettes instantly dissipated into the void. Roar! At this moment, a furious roar was heard as the shadow of a beast pounced out of the void, pouncing towards Gu Fei at an extremely fast speed. Extreme Breaking Fist! Gu Fei clenched his right hand and punched at the beast's silhouette. Bang! With a muffled sound, the beast's silhouette was sent flying. Boom! The beast's silhouette slammed into the rock wall, causing rubble and dust to fill the air. A huge crater was formed on the rock wall. The exotic beast landed on the ground and leaped up again, pouncing towards Gu Fei. It was extremely ferocious, and its entire body was shrouded in demonic aura. An Eternal Realm Phantom Beast? This guy is not suppressed by the power of Nether God Island? Gu Fei was a little surprised. Buzz! The Phantom Beast's silhouette instantly turned blurry. Then, the sky was filled with the silhouettes of phantom beasts, charging towards Gu Fei in an overwhelming manner. Hee, you dare to play this trick on me? Gu Fei was amused. He closed his eyes and a divine eye emerged between his eyebrows. Swish! Gu Fei shook his head, and the divine eye between his eyebrows scanned the surroundings. All the beast silhouettes disappeared, leaving only one beast silhouette. This beast silhouette was the real body of the Phantom Beast. The Phantom Beast did not know that its illusion had been broken, and it was about to give Gu Fei a hard blow. However, what awaited the Phantom Beast was a big foot. Bang! Gu Fei stepped on the face of the Phantom Beast fiercely, and the beast's entire face collapsed. A mouthful of sharp teeth almost flew out of its bloody mouth. The Phantom Beast was directly sent flying. Great Heaven Imperial Beast skill! Gu Fei's right hand formed a seal and directly led the Phantom Beast to fly backward. The next moment, the Phantom Beast flew towards him involuntarily, and he pressed his hand on its forehead. In the next moment, a mysterious ancient Tao pattern appeared in the blood-colored pupils of the Phantom Beast, and then the ancient Tao pattern disappeared into the beast's eyes. The incomparably ferocious Phantom Beast was subdued by Gu Fei just like that, becoming as docile as a kitten. Go and pick the fusion Tao fruit for me. Gu Fei directly ordered the Phantom Beast. This was a Phantom Beast in the Eternal Realm, but it seemed to have a pitifully low spiritual intelligence. How could this be? Could it be? Gu Fei seemed to have thought of something. Swish! The Phantom Beast immediately turned into a phantom and appeared next to the chaotic primordial chaos stone. It stretched out its claws and directly picked a fusion Tao fruit from the Tao fusion divine tree. Chapter 4805. Demonic Chi soared into the sky, and demonic stars shone brightly in the sky. Gu Fei finally found the place that He Xiong had mentioned, where the terrain and heavenly power were almost perfect. He also found the legendary fusing path fruit. However, the place where the immortal divine fruit was located was definitely guarded by a powerful creature. An eternal-level illusory beast jumped out, but Gu Fei brutally suppressed it. Gu Fei used the Great Heaven Imperial Beast technique to subdue it. However, just as Gu Fei drove the illusory beast to pluck the fusing path fruit, a demonic hand suddenly broke out of the ground and slapped the illusory beast to death. The illusory beast was directly smashed into meat paste by this demonic hand. Rumble! The ground shook, and an extremely ferocious demonic creature stood up from the ground. A monstrous murderous aura erupted from this demonic creature. The surrounding temperature dropped rapidly, and snowflakes started falling from the sky. This was a humanoid demonic creature with very long arms and a body covered in thick black scales. A pair of blood-red demonic eyes stared at Gu Fei fiercely. This is... Even though Gu Fei had traveled the world and was very knowledgeable, this was the first time he had seen such a humanoid demonic creature. This demonic creature had slapped the eternal-level illusory beast to death with a single slap. Even Gu Fei was a little dumbfounded by such powerful combat strength. In the next moment, Gu Fei directly charged at this demonic creature. Swoosh! The demonic creature directly clawed at Gu Fei, who was charging at it. Its sharp claws quickly streaked across the void, as if they were tearing the void apart. Buzz! Gu Fei's figure, who was charging at the demonic creature, suddenly became blurry. Then, countless figures appeared in the void, each figure seemingly illusory. The demonic creature seemed to be shocked. However, in the next moment, two demonic lights rushed out of the demonic creature's blood-red eyes. With a sweep of the demonic lights, Gu Fei appeared. More than half of the countless afterimages were destroyed. However, Gu Fei's target was not this monster, but a claw on the ground, a claw of the phantom beast. The illusion beast was still holding a Tao integration fruit in its claws. Gu Fei's real body directly grabbed the phantom beast's claw on the ground and instantly retreated. Swoosh! As the blood-colored demonic light swept over, all the phantoms that Gu Fei had created were wiped out. This demonic creature was extremely powerful. It took a step forward and instantly caught up to Gu Fei. Its claw swept towards Gu Fei. What? Gu Fei's shock was no small matter. This demonic creature's battle prowess was simply too astonishing. Grand Heaven Realm! Without any hesitation, Gu Fei activated the power of the Hongtian realm, and a shield appeared in front of Gu Fei. Boom! The demonic creature's sharp claws viciously swept across the shield in front of Gu Fei. The shield formed by the power of the Hongtian realm was instantly shattered, and Gu Fei was instantly sent flying. Boom! Gu Fei directly crashed into the rock wall of the dark divine demonic abyss. So powerful! Gu Fei directly crashed into the depths of the rock wall, and the blood in his body churned from the impact. A mouthful of blood surged up to his throat, but he forcefully swallowed it back. F***ck, I'll come back to kill you after I recover my cultivation base. Gu Fei directly used the Hongtian Emperor's escape technique, breaking through the rocks and sand, and directly escaped. Boom! Just as Gu Fei escaped, a loud boom sounded, and the demonic creature directly charged into the rock wall. If Gu Fei had hesitated for even a moment, he most likely wouldn't have been able to escape. That terrifying demonic creature rushed out of the huge hole in the rock wall, arriving in front of the Tao integration divine tree. Seeing that the divine tree was missing a fruit, it instantly flew into a rage and roared at the sky. At this time, Gu Fei quickly traversed through the ground. Soon, he rushed out of the ground, and directly came to a small forest outside the dark divine demonic abyss. Let's find a place to recover my cultivation base first. Gu Fei didn't dare to be negligent. There were simply too many demonic creatures stronger than him on this mazed divine island. He was already no match for that demonic creature just now. That demonic creature was able to kill an eternal-level illusion beast with a single slap. That demonic creature was at least a peak eternal-level existence. It's not safe outside. It's better to enter the Hongtian realm. With this thought in mind, Gu Fei directly disappeared into the void. When he reappeared, he was already in the Hongtian realm. Greetings, Master! When Gu Fei appeared in the Hongtian Great Palace in the Hongtian realm, Wu Jixian came to greet him with 3 generals. The 3 generals behind Wu Jixian were all early-stage eternal-level existences. Each of them had an extremely powerful aura. They were all overlord-level existences. Of course, in the era of the Hongtian Heavenly Emperor, early-stage eternal-level existences could only become experts of a region. The real overlords of a region were existences like the Hongtian Heavenly Emperor. Stand guard for me! After saying that, Gu Fei sat down cross-legged in the Hongtian Great Palace and ate the Tao integration fruit. The Tao integration fruit melted in his mouth, turning into a warm current that flowed into Gu Fei's body. The next moment, a wave of great Tao power appeared in Gu Fei's body. At this moment, Gu Fei felt as though he had appeared in an endless world. The divine sound of the great Tao lingered around him. At this moment, he felt as though he had never been this close to the great Tao of the eternal world. It was as though he could touch it with his hand. Master, this is... When Wu Jixian and the others sensed the aura coming out from Gu Fei's body, their faces involuntarily sank. The aura coming out from Gu Fei's body grew stronger and stronger. In the end, the entire Hongtian Great Palace shook and the faint divine sound of the great Tao lingered in the void. The divine sound of the great Tao was coming from Gu Fei's body. Boom! It didn't take long before Gu Fei's body erupted with genuine eternal realm power ripples, which continued to grow stronger. From early stage eternal level to mid stage eternal level, Gu Fei's cultivation base was like a hot knife cutting through butter. He directly broke through from the half-step eternal level to the eternal level. Then, from the early stage eternal level, he charged all the way to the mid-stage eternal level before stopping. This, Wu Jixian and the other three immortal generals were dumbfounded by what they saw. This new master was amazing. Too amazing. He actually broke through to the mid-stage eternal level in an instant. Moreover, Wu Jixian could sense that, although Gu Fei's cultivation base was only at the mid-stage eternal level, even he would likely be no match for this new master of theirs. Gu Fei sat in the Hongtian Great Palace for 3 days and 3 nights. By then, the world outside had turned upside down. By then, the seal on Nether God Island had disappeared and the magnates of the demonic path outside Nether God Island had broken into the island. Some of the magnates of the demonic path started fighting. The entire Nether God Island became lively. Chapter 4806. He Xiong and Feng Ji were very unlucky. They had barged through the ancient battlefield ruins, crossed the Demon Fire Ridge, and were stopped by a group of people when they were just a dozen li away from the seaside. "Boss He Xiong, how have you been?" The leader of the group was a middle-aged man. He stared at He Xiong with a fake smile and said coldly, "Chi Bin, what are you trying to do?" He Xiong was displeased when he saw this guy. This guy was Chi Bin of the Sky Demon Cult. This guy had always been at odds with him. How would I dare to do anything in front of Boss He? Chi Bin said with an evil smile. Humph! Trying to play this game with me? What's the point? If you want to fight, then fight. If not, then scram. He Xiong sneered. Boss He, we're old friends. Why do we have to be so stiff? How about this? Give us a few of the treasures you obtained on the island, and my brothers and I will let you leave. How about it? Chi Bin stared at He Xiong, and the smile on his face gradually disappeared. Ha ha! He Xiong laughed. What are you laughing at? Chi Bin's face instantly darkened. I'm laughing at your stupidity. Do you think it's so easy to take my He Xiong's things? He Xiong gave Chi Bin the middle finger. Brothers, what are you waiting for? Let's attack together and kill these two. Chi Bin shouted and waved his right hand. The dozen or so Sky Demon Cult members behind him swarmed forward and charged at He Xiong and Feng Ji. This is a grudge between the two of you. It has nothing to do with me. Feng Ji immediately turned and fled. She was about to reach the seaside. She was not that stupid to fight with these Sky Demon Cult members. Once she was entangled, she would not be able to escape. Feng Ji, what is the meaning of this? He Xiong was instantly displeased when he saw Feng Ji trying to escape. Settle the grudge between the two of you. Are you trying to drag me down with you? Feng Ji ignored He Xiong and instantly left. Feng Ji? Chi Bin looked at the departing figure and couldn't help being startled. Was that someone from the Demon Phoenix clan? The Demonic Phoenix clan was a formidable clan in Eternal World. Its primogenitor was an innate fire phoenix that had fallen into the demonic Tao. It was an extremely powerful existence. This was because they were creatures born from nature. After falling into the path of demons, they were not inferior to pure-blooded demons, let alone other demons. Kill He Xiong first. Someone actually wanted to chase after Feng Ji. Chi Bin hurriedly stopped them. You want to kill me? Go to hell first. He Xiong bellowed in rage and waved both his hands, shooting a dozen thunderbolts directly at the Sky Demon Cult champions around him, each of them exuding a frightening aura of destruction. This guy cultivated the Lightning Tao demonic art, so he immediately used his trump card. The Heavenly Devil Cult's experts hurriedly dodged. Only Chi Bin charged towards the incoming lightning with a punch. Boom! A loud sound rang out. The instant Chi Bin's fist collided with the thunderball, the thunderball instantly exploded and countless thunderbolts enveloped Qi Bin. However, under everyone's dumbfounded gazes, Qi Bin advanced step by step towards He Xiong. He allowed the thunderbolts to wander around his body, as if he could not feel the destructive power contained within the thunderbolts. Invulnerable heavenly demon constitution? He Xiong was quite shocked at the sight. He did not expect this guy to have cultivated the heavenly devil cult's most treasured demonic art, invulnerable heavenly demon constitution. He was not afraid of his demonic thunderbolts at all. How was he supposed to fight him? He Xiong, I didn't expect you to still be at the same spot after so many years. Your cultivation base has not improved at all. Today is the anniversary of your death. Qi Bin grinned savagely as he pressed towards He Xiong. Whoosh! He Xiong instantly transformed into a demonic thunderbolt and shot into the sky, fleeing towards the sea. After him! Don't let him get away! This guy! The experts of the heavenly devil cult were taken aback, and they immediately chased after He Xiong. Even Qi Bin did not expect He Xiong to run away. After all, the He Xiong he knew was not a coward. However, this guy was actually a coward now. While He Xiong was running away, Gu Fei had also reached a critical juncture in the Hong Tian realm. A powerful eternal realm aura erupted from his body as he devoured the boundless world spirit energy around him. The fragments of the great path of heaven and earth contained within the Tao fusion fruit were being refined, absorbed, and turned into his own path. Wu Jixian and the other three generals had already retreated from the Hong Tian palace and were waiting outside. There was actually no need to worry about anyone breaking into the Hong Tian realm. After all, it was a world created by the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor, and outsiders could not break in at all. Moreover, even if someone wanted to break in, their cultivation base would have to be on par with or even surpass the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperors. In the current era, who could have a cultivation base comparable to the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperors? And who could have a cultivation base surpassing the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperors? Another day and night passed. Outside the Hong Tian Palace, Wu Jixian and the others were sitting cross-legged in the void like super antiques that had existed since time immemorial. Boom! All of a sudden, the entire Grand Heaven realm shook violently. In the next moment, an extremely powerful wave of eternal power erupted from the Grand Heaven Palace. At this time, Gu Fei, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, suddenly opened his eyes. I finally succeeded, mid-level eternal realm. Gu Fei could not help but be surprised and overjoyed when he sensed the terrifying power within his body. His cultivation base had directly rushed to the mid-level eternal realm, and his cultivation base had completely stabilized. It's time to collect the remaining 2 Tao fusion fruits. Gu Fei stood up in the void and took a step forward, instantly disappearing from the Hong Tian Palace. Have your injuries healed? Gu Fei appeared in front of Wu Jixian. Master? Wu Jixian hastily got up. The other 3 generals appeared beside Gu Fei as well. These 4 generals had once followed the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor. They were experts who had walked out from mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The eldest among them was Wu Jixian, the second was Wu Jixin, the third was Wu Jidao, and the fourth was Wu Jizhan. All 4 of them were at the eternal stage. This was a great help to Gu Fei in his conquest of eternal world. Although the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor had died, he had left behind such a formidable force. Seeing that shocked and delighted Gu Fei. This was what he needed to contend for hegemony in eternal world. Alone, there was no way he could contend for hegemony. He could not even handle the martial extreme immortal sect, let alone the eternal demon sect and the other top forces. At that very moment, however, Gu Fei finally had the confidence to contend against the various top forces in eternal world. Master, my injuries have long since healed up, Wu Jixian said. Very well. In that case, come with me to have some fun and train yourselves. Chapter 4807. No one would have thought that the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor still had a trump card up his sleeves. 4 great generals and hundreds of thousands of immortal soldiers and generals. This force might not have been considered much during the era of the Hong Tian Heavenly Emperor, but in the current era, it was enough to sweep through an entire region. Without a doubt, when this force reappeared on the Shenwu continent, it would definitely shake the world. Swish! Gu Fei opened the Hong Tian realm and took the lead to walk out. Wu Jixian and the others were pleasantly surprised when they sensed the aura outside the door of light. Wu Jixian had left the Hong Tian realm before and fought with the ancient Netherworld Demon Emperor. The other three had never left the Hong Tian realm. The outside world was a great temptation for them, and they did not want to be trapped in the Hong Tian realm for the rest of their lives. Now that there was a chance to leave, who would be willing to stay? However, when they left the Hong Tian realm, they discovered that the entire underworld God Island had changed. The cultivation of all living creatures was no longer suppressed, and the power of the seal on the island had lost its effect. In the sky above Underworld God Island, a demonic star illuminated the world. Gu Fei sensed that the demonic nature on Underworld God Island had actually increased by several times. This was definitely a cultivation paradise for demonic cultivators. Cultivating in such a place with such a strong demonic nature would definitely yield twice the results with half the effort. At this time, extremely powerful demonic energy erupted from various parts of Underworld God Island. The terrifying demonic aura turned the entire island into a world of demons. In the depths of the Underworld God Abyss, terrifying fluctuations of eternal realm demonic energy were emitted. For a moment, countless powerful demonic beings jumped out from various parts of Underworld God Island like a group of demons dancing. The void was filled with soul-stealing demonic sounds. What's going on? Gu Fei did not know that the power of the seal on Underworld God Island would lose its effect one day. Roar! Suddenly, a roar resounded from a nearby gorge that was filled with vast demonic energy, and then a terrifying being from the Devil Dao charged out from within the gorge. This demonic being immediately targeted Gu Fei and the others and charged toward them. Boom! Before the fiendish Dao creature could get close, it spat out a mouthful of demonic fire at Gu Fei and the others. Suddenly, the demonic fire soared into the sky, and endless demonic fire swept towards Gu Fei and the others. Courting death! Next to Wu Jixian, a tall, bearded, majestic-looking general stepped forward and drew out a divine saber that was strapped on his back. This general was Wu Jixian, who was ranked last among the 4 great generals of Hong Tian. The divine saber in Wu Jixian's hand was a famous divine saber even during the era of the great emperor of Hong Tian, the heaven-splitting devil saber. Swoosh! Without thinking, Wu Jixian held his saber with both hands and slashed at the demonic flames that were sweeping toward him. The saber light suddenly soared up and instantly split the demonic fire. The saber light was like a hot knife through butter, and it also split the terrifying demonic creature in half. That was a half-step eternal realm devil Dao life form, yet Wu Jixian killed it with a single slash. Even Gu Fei was surprised to see this scene. In fact, it made sense. The 4 great generals under the great emperor of Hong Tian were peerless experts who had walked out of mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Whether it was in terms of battle experience or battle power, they were definitely the strongest existences in the same realm. As for the demonic creatures on Underworld God Island, their cultivation had been suppressed for 3,000 years. They could only recover their cultivation when the seal on Underworld God Island lost its effect. Naturally, the demonic creatures on Underworld God Island could not compare to the great generals. At this time, many battles had broken out in various parts of Underworld God Island. The various fiendish Dao forces outside the island had begun to attack Underworld God Island. Of course, the various fiendish Dao forces were just testing the waters at this time. The real big shots were still observing. Such big shots naturally would not make a move easily. Interesting. Gu Fei sensed the changes in this part of the world and couldn't help but be surprised and delighted. The seal on Underworld God Island had disappeared. Master, what should we do next? Wu Jixian asked Gu Fei. Let's go get the fusion Dao fruit first, Gu Fei said. Fusion Dao fruit? Hearing this, Wu Jixian's expression turned a little strange. What's wrong? Gu Fei noticed Wu Jixian's expression and asked. This, Master, the effect of the fusion Dao fruit is not as effective as the fusion Dao pill. Old Master once refined a cauldron of fusion Dao pill and produced a total of 32 pills. He used up 21 of them, so there should be 11 left. Wu Jixian said. What? Gu Fei was speechless. Damn, why didn't this guy say so earlier? I have to go through so much trouble to find the fusion Dao fruit. It turns out that the great emperor of Hongtian had refined the fusion Dao pill in the past. The effect of the fusion Dao fruit was naturally not as effective as the fusion Dao pill because the main ingredient of the fusion Dao pill was the fusion Dao fruit. However, the supplementary ingredients were also very powerful and were at least quasi-immortal divine herbs. The fusion Dao pill refined with countless precious quasi-immortal divine herbs, and the fusion Dao fruit was definitely a heaven-defying divine pill. Give it! Gu Fei extended his hand to Wu Jixian with a black face. Wu Jixian was very straightforward. He flipped his right hand, and a small jade bottle appeared in his hand. You really have it? Gu Fei felt as if countless divine beasts were roaring in his heart, and he was almost thrown into disarray. He had gone through so much trouble to find the fusion Dao fruit. Gu Fei pulled out the stopper and took a sniff. A faint fragrance wafted into his nose. In the next moment, he felt refreshed, and his mind was clear. He almost entered a state of enlightenment. Good stuff! Gu Fei was overjoyed. The fusion Dao fruit was much better than he had imagined. Keep one for each of you. Gu Fei took out 4 small jade bottles and filled each of them with the fusion Dao pill. He gave them to the 4 generals of Hongtian. Thank you, Master. The 4 generals of Hongtian didn't say anything else, and took the small jade bottles. The fusion Dao pill could only be eaten once in a lifetime. Eating more would not have any effect. None of the 4 generals of Hongtian had eaten the fusion Dao pill. Therefore, they all had a chance to break through to a higher realm than the eternal realm. But now, only Wu Jixian's cultivation had reached the peak of the eternal realm. However, he wouldn't waste this opportunity. Let's go and dig a tree, Gu Fei said as he led the way to the underworld god and demon abyss. The tree he wanted to dig was naturally the fusion Dao divine tree. Very soon, the towering pillar of demonic chi appeared in front of him once again. To his astonishment, he discovered that the towering pillar of demonic chi had grown several times larger. And the demonic chi pillar was facing the demonic star high up in the sky. The underworld god island had some kind of connection with the demonic star in the sky. This surprised Gu Fei. Could the disappearance of the seal on the underworld god island be related to this? He instantly guessed a few things. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.